Welcome in to a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, here live from the Noodle with our crew. Matuk is here, Katie is here, Lizzie is here on this Monday morning. Lots to get to as we will set up the national championship football game tonight. Alabama is underdogs. Georgia looking for their first natty in 41 years. Can they pull it off? We'll talk about it coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. As we said, always driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We will also talk to Will Wade, LSU's winning basketball coach from Saturday night, as the Tigers improved to 14-1 on the season and now set up a tilt versus Florida this week. They will also have Arkansas on the docket, as that will be their two SEC games this week. But LSU controls the game versus Tennessee on Saturday night, 79-67. We'll talk about the environment. We'll talk about the win. We'll talk about all of it coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind starting your day here with us. We appreciate that. We are T-minus 1 week from Mic'd Up. Mikey Matuk, the new show, will be debuting here, a part of the FM digital network.
Hey, can't wait.
We will have our Mic'd Up next Monday.
You can talk about the Rachel, I'm going to mess her last name up, Baklovec.
Oh,
she used to
nice,
be
nice swing.
She used to be the strength coach here. Funny story about
Really?
she is the first female manager in professional baseball. The Yankees. She just got named the low A manager for the Yankees.
Wait, you're having her as a guest?
No.
Okay.
No,
I thought you were saying that's coming
She
up.
was, but we could talk about it
Okay.
possibly. But she
That'd be awesome.
she was a strength coach, assistant strength coach here for the baseball team.
Oh.
She's a beast.
Okay.
She was a beast. Funny story about her. I know we have to go to the sponsors, but real quick.
No,
funny story.
go.
She, she's like, she's not like a fat, but she's muscular. She's
Thick.
big. So we're going through the power cleans. A stupid freaking mind.
I know, dude. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to So we're going through the
it.
power cleans. We're going through the stuff, and she is, and power cleans are like my favorite lift. Like I was good at them, so I'm going through, and I'm like, no problem. And she is telling me, she goes, you need to get lower. You need to get your better form. And I'm like, ignore. It was our first day. I'm ignoring her, whatever, ignoring her. Goes again, tells me you need to get better form. She goes, she pushes me out the way. She goes, watch. Same weight. She throws it up there like perfect form, no problem. Same weight I was doing, no problem. Throws it down on the ground, looks at me. I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say.
That's awesome.
Whatever you say.
Wait, so where is she now?
She is the manager. So she's been the first of a lot of different things in professional baseball.
Yeah.
She was the first she was the first female strength coach. She's jumped around from different organizations. First female strength coach. Then she was in charge of an academy in Latin America, I think. And then she was a hitting coach, assistant hitting coach somewhere, and now she's a manager.
Wow.
It's crazy.
So she knows the game.
Yeah, I think she's a softball player. She used to date when she was the assistant strength coach. She used to date Brian Cavazos Galvez. I think I messed that up too. He was a professional. He was got up to AAA, professional baseball player.
Wow.
So she's been around it, but crazy.
Let's get her on your show.
Yeah,
That can be done.
I'm sure we can figure it out.
Yes.
We will talk to we're trying to go up to Indianapolis this morning and get a report from boots on the ground there, as we're talking, going back and forth to Josh Pate from 247 Sports, who has the YouTube Live weekly talking college football. He is up in Indy tonight talking and getting ready for Georgia and Alabama. We'll get a preview from Pate, hopefully, at some point before we get out of here at 9 a.m. this morning. Lots to get to, obviously, from the weekend. Saints win and improve to 9-8 on the season. San Francisco rallies to beat the Rams out west yesterday. Kicks a field goal nearly 3 minutes into overtime, does San Francisco, after being down 17 at half. You knew it was going to be a weird storyline come Sunday, but this was possibly the weirdest, the strangest storyline. First time since 1993 that a team has rallied as many points as San Francisco did yesterday to come back on Los Angeles. As we said, they were down 3 scores. They were down 17 at halftime. They were able to push it into overtime behind Jimmy Garoppolo, and a comeback there for the 49ers. They kick a field goal, and Robbie Gould kicks a field goal in overtime to give San Francisco the win, and they bounce the Saints out of the playoff hunt. after the Saints dominate their rival, the Atlanta Falcons, on the final playing date of the regular season. Saints, as we said, a winning record, 9-8 on the season. I said last night I think it was Sean Payton's best coaching job that he's ever done since he's been in New Orleans. I mean, we can debate and go back and forth on some championships and NFC South titles and even the Super Bowl run, but what he accomplished with the – I mean, like, we don't even talk about the Hurricane. The Hurricane feels like it was a decade ago. Forget the fact that they've gone through 3 quarterbacks. They have had a ton of adversity dealing with COVID restrictions and roster limitations and everything that's going on. It has been a incredible coaching job by Sean Payton, his staff, Dennis Allen, everybody who had to step up throughout the season on that coaching staff to assist the Saints. But to get to 9-8 with this team feels like a playoff team. It feels like a playoff type story. So congratulations, really and truly, to the Saints, because they had to count on some other people. They had to count on some other teams, and it didn't work out for them yesterday. But if you're just looking at their singular body of work, the Saints' body of work, what they did in 2021 and 2022, we should remember it for a long time.
No doubt. I think I hate seeing it because it always felt like every time Taysom Hill was taking that next step as a quarterback and like, damn, he looks good. Something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got the starting job. He had a couple wins. His first first game back, messed up finger, mallet finger, whatever it's called. Then
throw with the thing on.
So then he can barely throw, right? So people are giving him a hard time because he can't throw. He's not making these throws. He's missing some throws. I'm like, well, it's hard to throw a football without, like, if you ever gripped a football and you know how to grip it, like your middle finger, the ball comes off your index finger, but the middle finger is a big part of the grip, right? Yeah. So that happens. He battles through it. Russell Wilson, talking about how much of a warrior Russell Wilson is, coming back in 4 weeks instead of 6 or 8. Taysom Hill didn't miss a game. Same injury, right? So doesn't have surgery. He comes back finally this last game, 4th game, he's back. He's playing awesome. He's making throws. He's driving the ball down the field. He's putting the ball on the money. And then Liz Frank injury, and he's out for the rest of the game. Like, I just feel so bad, but that's been the MO for his whole career.
Yeah.
Just every time he would kind of start getting that momentum, he would get hurt. But you're right. I mean, the Saints were awesome. The next man up mentality, and they should have made the playoffs. The Rams screwed us over again.
NFL was crazy yesterday, man.
3 overtime wins.
It was wild.
Like, why was everybody in overtime?
We almost got the ever elusive tie, dude. We almost got the game that couldn't tie almost.
Yeah, the
it
Raiders.
was unbelievable last
Chargers?
night.
Yes.
Did you see that Steelers fan they kept showing? Because if the Steelers tied,
Yeah.
and they keep showing this guy in the stands, and he's like, he's mother bleeping. He's got his hands in his head. He's looking up at the scoreboard. He's staring down at the sidelines, like looking at them with their hands up.
He's gonna run on the field to stop it.
It was unbelievable,
Wait,
man.
so why didn't they tie? Like, because I saw both the coaches were talking about how it was being discussed on the sidelines. So then what makes you make that decision?
Well, it's competition.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta win. Here's the deal.
People are taking the field to win the game. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why the Raiders showed up last night. You can't tell somebody on the Raiders like, it'd be better for us to tie. You know what I mean?
Like, they were
you know
doing
what we're talking
that.
about on the field.
It would be worse for them to tie.
Sure,
if they tied,
sure.
they had to play the Chiefs.
Sure.
Well, why were they considering it, and what would be the
Nobody
outcome if they
nobody
ended in a
was
tie?
considering it.
Well, he said they were.
Well, it was.
Yeah, you saw him on the sidelines
It
talking
was.
about
Yeah.
It
I mean,
was.
like, it's
if they don't,
right?
it. No, it's.
Here's the deal.
I don't want to play
Here's
the
the
Chiefs
deal.
as competition.
If they would have kicked a long field goal, like if they got a penalty, like if they had kicked it initially, it was an extremely long field goal that if they would have missed it, all the Chargers needed was one play to go ahead and kick the field and get the win, right? So I guess in their mindset, they said, you know what, if we're not able to make this, instead of taking a risk of missing a long field goal and giving them good field position to win, why don't we just kneel it and they both go in? And if they did that, I think the NFL would have shit a brick.
Made
Really?
so much money. But I think that the real reason is because, like you said, if they win, they get to play
KC.
If they tie, if everybody ties up, they have to play the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Instead, they get to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, who has a broken
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger, and that is a far better matchup. But you saw him on the field after the game, like, dude, we were thinking about kneeling it out.
Yeah.
Like, they talked it
Yeah,
to
they
get
did.
Yeah.
both teams in. But when you really look at it, like, I don't want to play the Chiefs,
Yeah.
dude. I'm sorry, but I would rather play broken Ben Roethlisberger.
So that now sets up Las Vegas
It was
hosting
wild.
the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1 of the AFC
No, Bengals
playoffs.
host.
I'm sorry, the
Bengals.
Bengals are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders as Burrow and the boys now. Burrow yesterday, he had off. Jamar, I don't know if you saw it, had 2 catches for 26 yards. He needed 12 yards going into the game yesterday to become the Cincinnati Bengals all-time season leader in receiving yardage after just his rookie season, as Jamar finishes yesterday with 2 grabs for 26 yards. He got what he needed and now has 81 catches, 1,455 yards, and 13 touchdowns on his rookie year, which sets a Cincinnati Bengals franchise record. Shout out to Jam, shout out to Burrow, shout out to everybody up there in Cincinnati.
Boys.
As it looks like we've talked about it so many times. It's an awesome time to be a Cincinnati fan. If you're in that market, if you're in that team, if you're around that team, if that's your team, if that's who you've been following, your patience have paid off because it seems like the Cincinnati Bengals are really a fun team to watch. They're in the playoffs. They will host Las Vegas. And Joe Burrow is the all-time single-season leading passer in franchise history after his second season this year, a year that he finished. And now Jamar Chase is leading the Bengals all-time in season yardage after his rookie season in 1,455 yards. So shout out to Jamar and Joe and all of the Bengals and everybody for
Having
their
fun with all of our toys. It's not really
Yes,
fair.
that's right.
I guess but that's the team that I would imagine all of Louisiana will root for,
Yeah.
right? Like now that the Saints are out,
Well, yeah.
That's
you're
what
going
Ali,
to see a
For sure.
huge big. I mean, I think it's already happening anyway. We'll talk to
yeah.
Ben Baby about it,
Yeah.
but it feels like Louisiana has kind of taken the Bengals under their arm too. So if with no Saints in the playoffs, you'll see a huge contingency of LSU fans, Louisiana fans just rooting for the Bengals.
Yeah.
So Ali asked me, who do we cheer for now? I was like, Daddy Joe's in the season, bro. You cheer for Daddy
BDJ.
Joe, yeah.
50 years of combined legal experience. That's what you get when you use Mulhan Law Firm. Remember the wide range of services that they offer over at Mulhan Law Firm. Personal injury, business organization, wills and trusts, succession and probate, family law, entertainment law, all of it offered to you by our friends over at Mulhan Law Firm. Get over to the website and check them out at mulhanlawfirmla.com. You can dial up the phone number, 926-8533. It's a 225 area code, 225-926-8533. But get in touch with Mr. Roy Mulhan, Namisha Patel, or Josh Roy for them to help you out with any legal representation that you may need. We told you.
Namisha Visanji. Wrong, Namisha.
Yes, sorry. Sorry.
We know Namisha
I was
Patel
I
do
was
that.
looking right here.
Oh, yeah. Wait, why?
Oh, that's her maiden name.
Oh, gosh, they need to update their
Oh,
site,
Vishal
right?
gets dog walked
She
from the wife.
Putting your name in the public. Personal injury, business organizations,
bitch.
family law, entertainment law, Mulhan Law Firm, Vishal Patel. Really? MulhanLawFirmLA.com is where you find them online. MulhanLawFirmLA.com. We will talk to Will Wade in
Get those
15
groceries.
minutes. And if you saw Sunday's episode of the Jordy Culotta Show, you saw what we were talking about from a basketball standpoint. We'll get to all the football stuff. And Josh Pate has confirmed he will be here from Indianapolis at 7:45 this morning. So we'll go straight from Will Wade at 7:30, straight to Indy with Josh Pate at 7:45, and we'll begin to preview the Alabama-Georgia National Championship tonight coming to you from Indianapolis. So we'll talk about that game at the end of the hour. LSU basketball rolls on Saturday night. They beat Kentucky on Tuesday. They roll Tennessee on Saturday. That's a really good week for a college basketball program. That's two name recognizable programs with Rick Barnes and the Volunteers on Saturday and Calipari and Kentucky on Tuesday for Will Wade and LSU to get behind. We'll talk to him about his accomplishments, what the week ahead looks like for Wade and the crew as they travel to Florida earlier this week, and then they will host Arkansas on Saturday. Wednesday they'll travel over to Gainesville. Kim Mulkey's crew rolled past Auburn yesterday, 76-48. So another solid outing and win for Coach Mulkey. But Mikey, I saw you at the game on Saturday night. Lloyd got some of the best piece of B-roll I think I've ever seen that the Culotta Show has put out as he reenacted the
Scares
Wolf
me.
of Wall Street scene
My guy, dude.
with Miles Brennan in section 320 at the top of the rafters of the Maravich
He's a man of
Center.
the
Hey,
people.
I respect him for being up
Me
there.
too,
Yeah.
bro.
I respect him for being
Me
up there.
too.
He was trying to get away from it all.
Did
it
you
turns
just
out.
run into him?
Yes,
Like it
we
just was
both
a random
So
coincidence?
we both bought tickets in different sections, but we ended up going to this spot because it was kind of open. Like, well, these seats are better. And then lo and behold, he strolls up right behind us. He's like, "Are these y'all's tickets?" We're like, "No, dude, we just stole these. Like, we were just waiting for somebody to come sit down." He goes, "Oh, I'm doing the same thing." And so that's how
Was
we
he by
started
himself?
talking. No, girlfriend and like
Okay.
a little
Okay.
like a whole.
Is
clique.
it girlfriend? He didn't get engaged.
Yeah.
He did engage.
Yeah, it's
Fiancé.
T-Bob's it's
Fiancé.
T-Bob's
Y'all
niece.
saw- Dude, you got
Oh, wow.
a 50-yard line and strawberry wine, dude. He did it at LSU. People
Oh,
were giving
really?
him shit for not. Like, he's like, I didn't take a knee like Trevor Lawrence. He's like, didn't want to get the pants dirty, dude. And I was like, I respect game respects game. I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
Absolutely.
That's funny. I
But
didn't know that.
Mikey was texting me during the game, and I was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm in like 315, whatever." He's like, "Oh, I'm right behind the scores table." I was like, "Of course, Mikey. Like, we're not gonna link up for this."
And what are my tickets though? What are my tickets? I got given those tickets.
A lot of
to me.
zeros that are missing.
Hey, I
on
will
the
say
one's
this.
end.
I will say this. So I was with my friend's dad, BG's dad.
Rand, the Godfather.
Yeah, Randy's the best.
Yeah.
So Randy he doesn't see very well. So Casey
I
McKenzie.
have to sit close.
Casey McKenzie is next to him. And so BG says, "Hey, Casey, you're going to have to give a play-by-play to my dad so he can see." Coach, this is no joke. The best play-by-play I've ever heard in my entire life.
Really?
I thought I was listening to the radio.
What?
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. I'm talking about, he is literally, and he was watching the game like casually just watching it. And all of a sudden he starts talking and giving the play. I thought he was going to like be choppy. Dude, he could be on the
Nails.
radio.
Wow.
It was like I was watching the game, not really listening to him, and then all of a sudden I hear him like, I could literally listen to you, and I could
Oh
visualize.
my
It was
gosh.
great. So shout out, Casey McKenzie.
Wow.
Yes,
That
we
is
just
cool,
sit by
man.
him.
Yeah, it was nice.
When do you become? Or have you ever been the? I'm bringing my headphones and listening to the broadcast.
Never.
I have never, but I have
That's an
sat
old-
with Randy in a game, and I do know
But
that
that's why.
you do have to
Yeah.
sometimes spell some things out for him,
because
right?
it's hard for him to. He doesn't have his
So
glasses,
it was hard for him to
see.
follow it.
Yeah,
Right? Like
right.
once he's zoned in and focused, he
Right.
can see it. But when the action starts going up and down,
I know he listens, so shout out Randy. bro.
absolutely. Shout out to
he
Randy.
does.
We love Randy.
We love Randy.
He's the godfather of our show, man.
Yeah.
Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button. But the environment on Saturday night, I said this, and we'll talk to Will coming up here in a couple of minutes. I shared some text messages with him yesterday morning, and I told him, look, man, before anything, before congratulations on the win, before congratulations on having this team in the top 20, 14-1, another real quality win in the league, like, bro, what you've been able to create as far as like the interest and the pull of LSU basketball is incredible. I thought Saturday night was a phenomenal atmosphere. Like, it was everything that the administration was hoping that they would get in return for LSU interest. I said I saw Stephanie Rempf, who is the really the athletics director of the day-to-day stuff that goes on. Scott Woodward's the athletics director. He's the one that's pulling all the strings and making things happen. He's the guy that has the relationships, and he's the one that's lobbying government relations up on Capitol, up at the state capitol for LSU. But really the day-to-day grind of athletics at LSU is handled by Stephanie Rempf. She was walking around the corridor on Saturday night. I saw her at halftime. I had little Jay and two of his buddies there just kind of running around the Maravich Center, and I was just kind of waiting on him to come out of the restroom, and I was standing there, and Stephanie Rempf was walking around. She had a grin and a smile on her face from ear to ear, and I don't know if it was because they were up at halftime or if it was, but I know it had to have something to do with 13,000 packed in that place. And it wasn't 13,000 because LSU was playing Tennessee. It was 13,000 because LSU was playing basketball. And that's what has been created by Will Wade. And that's congratulations and really a shout out to him and his staff for building that environment up in the way that it's happened. So not as quick as Mulkey has, right? Mulkey's 15 games in, and she's created a culture that's going to pull people out. But, I mean, 5 years into this thing, to see what Wade has accomplished and to see the draw that his program is now is cool. Like I said last night, man, if you were there on Saturday, it was date night, it was family night, it was everybody, it was students, it was a social event. I mean, it was the place to be. It felt almost like an LSU football type event where you looked around, everybody was kind of dressed up, people were there early, people staying late, people were into it, It was just an incredible atmosphere, man. And now is the time, as we said last night, and I'm not going to dive back into it. I'm not going to get into what we were talking about last night. But, I mean, Wade called out the facilities after the game.
He needs to.
And I thought it was above board, and I thought it was fair. Because what we, as the customer base, have gotten in return from Will Wade, the LSU basketball staff, in dealing with this type, I didn't know that they dealt with that. I really didn't. I didn't know that they dealt with leaking roofs.
No, I didn't either. And
locker rooms that didn't have enough, outlets for the entire team to dress. I didn't know that they were, having to have managers sweep the floor because water was coming in to the practice facility on half the floor, and dealing with that in preparation of game week. And Lloyd showing off VCU's nice. Facilities right now, and that's what Wade was behind at Virginia Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. But now is the time for this LSU basketball. We're not going to get into it with Wade. You heard what he said Saturday night after the game. They need better facilities. They don't expect the facilities that Tennessee and Kentucky have. When you Google Tennessee's basketball facility, you'll find real quick that they have one of the top facilities in the country. Kentucky is the blue blood of the sport. They're the Alabama football, right? They have the best of everything. So I don't think LSU's even asking for Tennessee and Kentucky type standards. But there's the same basketball program that just ran both of those teams out this week. And they're doing it with underwhelming facilities. And they're doing it with facilities that aren't even on the same competitive level as their competition. I mentioned this a little bit last night. Some of the conversations that Wade and his crew and his staff are having are coming down to very little things. Mikey can talk about this. He's been a big-time recruit in his life. They're not just selling you, hey, man, if you come here, you're going to play. They're selling you when you get here, you'll have access to state-of-the-art facilities. You'll have access to state-of-the-art trainers. You'll have now access to state-of-the-art nutrition centers. But when LSU basketball recruits come over, they see that you've got to walk across the street to lift weights as a basketball player from the practice facility into Tiger Stadium. If you want to put up shots in the morning and then go meet with your coaches, you got to shoot over here, then you got to walk across the street, go up an elevator, 3 flights of stairs to a coach's office at the athletic administration building. That's no big deal. It may not be to you and me, but it is when you're recruiting against Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, Kentucky, who can all say, yeah, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that.
Oh, VCU doesn't.
I know, right?
I'll tell you,
And really what it does bring to light is some of the conversations and some of the recruiting wars that Wade is winning having to recruit with this, right? Like, doesn't that show you how dominant he is at his job? You think Efton Reed cares about LSU? All of us care about LSU in this room. Maybe not Katie. She's from Starkville, but she's moved here now. And now she's got some passion from LSU.
Guy.
Mikey grew up an LSU fan. I grew up in Baton Rouge. Lloyd grew up in Alexandria. We all love LSU. We all grew up loving LSU. Efton Reed grew up in Virginia and went to high school in Florida. He's never even been to Baton Rouge. Wade had to sell that 5-star on why you need to be here. And he beats out teams like Pittsburgh and Virginia and Kentucky. Teams that have incredible facilities and programs that they can sell that stuff to. It's now time for Wade to be on an even playing field as far as his competitive pitch goes. Not only is it time to extend him and pay him, but it's time to support him and build the facilities. And I'm not even talking about refurbishing the PMAC. But, I mean, look at that environment on Saturday night. And you got Will Wade and Kim Mulkey signed up right now. To me, the next decade of basketball looks like it's going to be really good around here.
And that shouldn't be a stress on the coaches, right? To have to worry about the leaks in the ceilings and all these little things. Like, that's what's embarrassing.
Not at this
is
point.
It's Major League. It's the movie Major League.
Don't think when he wasn't hired that they said, hey, look, when we're giving you all this money, we expect back in return a top 20 basketball program. Well, here you are.
Yeah.
He's done everything that he has been tasked to do. Mm-hmm. And he still knows that there's more left to accomplish. But he's doing it without the competitive balance that the rest of the league has.
Right. And
it's time. And I get all the stuff that you have to wait and see. Well, now it's time. You're 3 years into this stuff. You know that they haven't found anything. If they found anything, you know all about it. And you can construct a contract with language that says if anything pops up, this thing's null and void. So it's time, man.
Yeah, if you want to see the difference, go look at every single college baseball facility. And this is a complete it's a way smaller scale. Mm-hmm. Basketball teams generate money for their schools, right?
Right.
There's not very many baseball teams. Now, most of the baseball teams that do generate money for their schools are in the Southeastern Conference. But if you go and look at Alabama, just spent a ton of money on their baseball facility. Ole Miss just spent a ton of money on their baseball facility. Arkansas has one of the best baseball facilities. LSU, South Carolina,
you're leaving one
all
out.
of these Mississippi State. They're
leaving out the best
all
one.
of them have spent all of this money on their baseball program. They've put in millions and millions of dollars to make that better, right?
Yeah.
In a sport that really doesn't generate a ton of money for their school. Now, it's starting to grow and starting to get better for sure, but basketball is the second biggest sport and sometimes the biggest sport in some of these schools. So it shouldn't be exactly. And it should not be pulling teeth to be able to say, hey, you know what? We have to upgrade and we have to compete with all these other big time schools. As far as the arms race never ends.
Never ends.
Football, they think they have the best facility. The LSU's football team they need to start getting new stuff.
Right.
Let's go to the phone lines here and talk to head coach Will Wade of the LSU men's program. What an incredible week that they had last week, beating Kentucky and Tennessee, and now 14-1 on the season before a week ahead that looks like Florida and Arkansas on the schedule. They will host Arkansas on Saturday, and they will travel to Florida on Wednesday night. Good morning, sir. Boot up.
Boot up. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. What an environment on Saturday night. First and foremost, the health of Xavier Pinson and how he is a couple of days after what looked like a really bad injury.
Well, he was in the training room for about three or 4 hours yesterday, working on things. So everything came back as positive as it could. So he's officially got a grade 1 MCL strain and a bone bruise.
Wow.
Which is about as great a news as we could have gotten. So absolutely. I mean, he'd be day to day. It really just depends on how his knee takes to some of the treatment and that sort of thing. But I mean, there's an outside chance he could be available Wednesday at Florida. Now, we're certainly not going to rush anything. We need him to be comfortable and confident. And, we're going to get him a knee brace, kind of like what Hyatt wore. So we're getting a custom knee brace made that he could wear just to give him a little bit more support and a little bit more confidence. But it's certainly from how it looked. I watched it on film multiple times. It's as good a news as we could have gotten.
As soon as he hit the floor, my eyeballs went to you. To see, because I knew that was going to be a really a time of panic for you. What was that? What was that minute and a half like?
Well, you feel bad for X and how hard he works and everything he's put into it, and then you got to shift to, we got to find a way to close this game out, and win this game, and so that at the end of the day, it's what we had to do, and I think you saw. When he came back out, I think you saw, the camaraderie, the cohesiveness of the connectedness of our team when all of them went back over to him. And, after he got off the floor, Sean told our strength coach, Coach Green, he's like, I think everything, he said, I think this isn't as bad as we think. And so when he told me that, I was like, all right, because Sean's he's the best, our athletic trainer, and Sean Eddy. And so once he said that, I was kind of like, all right, and he came back out the tunnel and he said, we'll talk about it afterwards, but we're going to be okay, I think. So after he said that, it kind of calmed me down and calmed us all down a little bit. But, you hate that. We've already gone through it once. And, especially for hard workers and guys who do all the right stuff, you want them to have success. And so X was in good spirits. He was in good spirits yesterday in there joking around with everybody who was getting treatment and getting recovery stuff done. So, it was, like I said, it's about as good a news as we could have gotten, and good a news as we could have hoped for.
You're in the teeth of it. So you can't sit back and I mean, you got Florida on Wednesday night and Arkansas on Saturday, but what was last week like for your program, beating Kentucky at home and Tennessee? What did you guys accomplish?
Well, I think it validates a lot of the stuff we've been doing. We've been building towards this. Certainly hadn't been an easy slog to get here, but anytime you're playing against two of the better teams in the league, two of the more consistent teams in the league, and Kentucky, who's been historically by far the best team in the league, that's important. And to beat those guys is really, really important. And I think it was only the fourth time we've won, home games against top 20 teams or won back-to-back against top 20 teams. I think it's only the first time in the history, or fourth time in the history of the program. So something that hasn't been done a lot. And, I was happy for our guys, just to look at our guys' faces after the games and how excited they were just to see their hard work validated. To play in that type of environment, to play in front of the fans in a packed house like that, that's what's most exciting to me, is just to get to see them do that, because a lot of them have not been able to do that with COVID and everything else that's been going on.
Your defensive performance on Saturday night once again stands out. What did you see on that end of the floor?
Well, we were just okay. We're going to go through a bunch of the stuff today. We gave them 10 to 12 points on some mistakes that we hadn't been making. We've got to get back sharper on a couple things there. To be honest, we spent so much time. That was by far the best our offense has looked. Outside of a little stretch there in the second half, I mean, nobody's come close to scoring 79 on Tennessee all year. It's the most points by like 9 or 10 points anybody's put on them all year, including Villanova and North Carolina and some really good teams. So, I was really pleased with our offense and ball movement. I thought we took really, really good threes. I thought we did a good job on the offensive glass, and so we've been spending quite a bit of time trying to get the offense corrected, trying to get everything straight with that, and I think we haven't done it at the detriment of our defense, but we haven't emphasized a couple of the details quite as much defensively, and so our hand activity's got to be better. We let some passes through. Our switching's got to be a little bit tighter. We got slipped on a couple switches. And then certainly we covered the wrong guy on some help. We left the basket open 3 or 4 times. We let him get 2 keeper actions on us. We didn't switch underneath on that. So there's some stuff that we can, that we can clean up. There's only so many ways to beat a switching defense. You can basically screen your own man, which we cover every day, and our guys have gotten good at that. Kentucky and Tennessee both tried that. You can slip back to the ball. We're solid at that, but the keeper actions and the switching under on elbow stuff has bothered us this year. Georgia Tech got it on us a couple times. Auburn got it on us a couple times. Tennessee was able to do that. Saturday as well. So that's certainly, people are sharp. They watch film. That's something we've got to get corrected sooner rather than later.
You can sense the frustration on Efton during the game when he's getting called for some of these fouls, and it looks like he's doing the right thing, but once again, he's in foul trouble and can't get going. Doesn't look like his feet can get underneath him within the game. How do you keep him motivated, and what are you seeing from him in his development right around the midseason point, right around the midway point of his freshman year?
He's been great. I talked to him for a while yesterday, and it's certainly frustrating when he's taken out of the game like that, when he only played 7 or 8 minutes because he picks up 4 fouls in 8 minutes. But he's really close to turning this around, and he's right there. And that's what I've been telling him is you're right there, you're close. This is not some major issue that you have here. Like you're really close to turning this around and playing really, really well for us, like you were at the beginning of the year. And so, I was joking with him yesterday. I said every freshman kind of goes through this. Tremont went through this. All of our really good freshmen have gone through this. I said the good news for you is you're getting it out of the way early in conference play. So he'll be fine. We believe in him. He's a really, really talented player. He's a really, really good player. In fact, I'm getting ready to work with him here in a few minutes.
24-12 for Tari on Saturday night, a new career high for him. He had some dunks that brought the house down on Saturday night. What'd you think of his play?
I mean, he's been phenomenal for us all year. What else can you say? He's a tremendous player, tremendous worker. I mean, I was in there early yesterday morning. He was in there getting another workout in and watching film and going. I mean, he's all in. He's all about basketball. He's all about getting better, and it shows in his game. He's continued to improve, and so it's very hard. Shows great maturity on his part. A lot of times when players are playing really well or have good games, they relax and they stop working and they stop doing all the things that got them to that point. And Tari just, the better he plays, the more he doubles down on what got him there, and the more he does more and wants more. And that's an unbelievable trait that you hardly ever see in players, and especially young players, freshmen and sophomores. So he's just been tremendous, and he's set up to continue to play extremely well for us.
You head into the O'Connell Center on Wednesday night versus Florida. What are the challenges that the Gators present?
Well, we ain't been very good against the Gators. So, the first thing is they're old. They're very experienced. I think they're the 12th most experienced team in the country. And so they've got some good experienced guys. Appleby's back, who played for them last year. They got Myron Jones, a transfer from Penn State, who's a very good shooter. But Castleton down low, he's killed us. He absolutely annihilated us last season down there, and so we got to do a good job on him. DeRuggi, the four-man, he transferred from Louisiana Tech. He killed us when he was at Louisiana Tech when they almost beat us here the year we won the SEC. And then he's been a thorn in our side. We got to do a good job on him. Felder's a kid that comes off the bench who's like the starter, who does a nice job. And they've got another couple transfers, Fleming, McKissick from UMKC, and so they're just an older bunch. They're really well coached. They ice the ball screens, try to keep it on one side of the floor. So you got to get the ball movement, got to get the ball to the second side of the floor, which always makes it a challenge. So it'll be it'll be a tough game. It'll be another good road environment. And, we got to play better on the road. We haven't been, we had one opportunity at Auburn and we didn't put our best foot forward. So now we got to go on the road to Florida and see if we can play better and find a way to win one.
I see him on the bench every game, but he's out of sight, out of mind to the fan base because he's not out there playing. But how is Adam Miller coming along?
Oh, he's doing great.
Yeah,
he's doing great. He was excited yesterday because he had a lot of people in the training room with him, so he had people to talk to in there. So he's a social kid. He loves to talk and get people going. And so he walked in. There's two people on the Normatex, 2 people doing contrast stuff, hot and cold tub. You got Fudge rehabbing his elbow. You got certainly Penson in there, and then he's in there just leading the crew. So he was really excited to have some company in there all day yesterday. But in all seriousness, he's been working extremely hard. He's in there. He's in there 3 or 4 hours a day. Doc and Sean both say he's way ahead of schedule, and to my untrained eye, his knee certainly looks quite a bit better from just the swelling and the way it looks. It looks more normal and like his other knee. So I think he's making great progress. He's really attacked the rehab. He's had the right attitude about it. He's been great for our team. He's like a coach. He knows what's going on. He's always locked in. He's paying attention during scouting. I send him all the same videos that I send our guards on the reads on ball screens and how we do things. And so he's watching those and asking questions. He's using this as an opportunity to learn, opportunity to get better. He's going to be ready to roll when whenever he's cleared to go.
Do you sit back on maybe on a Sunday morning or a late Saturday night and think about that environment that you played in front against? It seems like now it doesn't matter who you play, when you play, that you are going to play in front of a packed house, and if you do it at home, it's probably going to be sold out. Do you guys understand the interest that you've brought back, the life and the faith and the belief that is back and restored in the LSU basketball program? Do you guys feel that as the leaders?
Well, look, I don't get out much,
sure.
Period, or during the season, so. I don't know everything that's going on, but certainly just Dave, our marketing guy, he texts me multiple times a week. I'm all over. How many tickets have we sold? What do we need to do to do this and do that? And he has a very good sense of things. And so But the crowd was electric. I thought they willed us down the stretch after X went down. And that's what you want to play in front of. That's what we go in front of on the road a lot of the time. So it's great when we have that home court advantage. And so the crowds have been great. The fans have been great. I think our team really, really appreciates it. It's a huge boost for our guys. And so that's been the best part for us, because we feed off the energy with the press and the turnovers and steals and the way we guard. We feed off our crowd's energy. We feed off of our fans. So that's a huge part to why we've had a lot of success. I thought the student section was great. The band's been really good. All that stuff matters. Dr. Jones with the band, I mean, he's been there with us from day one. Yeah. From day one, he texts me before and after every game, home or road. I mean, he's all in, Dr. Jones and the Bengal Brass and those guys. So all that stuff makes a difference, and it's been great for our players. Our players talk about it. Our players are excited. We just got to keep it rolling now.
Get this man some facilities. Willie Wade is the head basketball coach at LSU. 14-1 Tigers travel to Florida on Wednesday. Back home versus Arkansas on Saturday. Boot the F up. Thank you, Coach. Keep them hot.
Thanks, guys. Boot up.
Yes, sir. There he is. Willie Wade checking in this morning from LSU basketball. Brought to you every time by Phil's Oyster Bar. Over at Phil's Oyster Bar, daily lunch specials. And the best char-grilled oysters in town. Remember, Southdown Shopping Center over there at Phil's Oyster Bar, south side of town. We got an oyster bar at every point in town. We got City Cafe in the north end. If you're heading east, we got Phil's Oyster Bar at the south end and the south side of town. But Phil's Oyster Bar always brings you our conversations with Will Wade. We appreciate that. We're going to jump right up to Indianapolis and head up and talk to our friend Josh Pate here, as Pate is up in Indy, and we will get a preview of tonight's national championship game between Georgia and Alabama. Have we bet? We bet the game yet? What is it? What's the spread at?
Oh, don't sulk with that microphone. I don't like it that it's drifting away either. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just not gonna hold it the whole time.
Coming to you. Hold tight.
Do it
I'm
over
just
your
gonna
arm.
wait till it's my turn to talk.
It's always your turn.
Just pull the cord in.
Speak up. Are you betting tonight?
I am.
Who are we taking?
I am taking. You can't bet against Alabama.
As the underdog, right? 2.5 points?
3. I got it at 3.
Wow, it's going up.
I got a little teaser.
Let's go to Indianapolis. Josh Pate is there, boots on the ground, as good as they find, as good as you'll find in covering college football. From Will Wade, the LSU head basketball coach, we go to Josh Pate of 247 Sports, who is in Indy getting ready for Georgia, Alabama. Alabama is first off, good morning. Happy New Year, buddy. It's been a minute.
Good morning, sir. How are we?
Doing good. Getting ready for tonight. Not as much a buzz as in SEC country as you might feel with Georgia and Alabama tilting tonight for the national championship. What does it feel like in Indy?
I would say it probably feels roughly as you described it in the South. So I think that's proportioned. I personally blame the cold weather up here, but I also think, if we're being real with ourselves, that whole rematch factor has something to do with it. Plus, it's not like we're watching Tennessee versus Texas A&M in a rematch. We're watching folks who have been there. But I got into this heated discussion last night with a friend, so, we're still cool this morning, I guess. But I got into this heated discussion last night, and it was because I got a buddy who is a sports fan, but he treats sports like it's a Netflix series or like it's one of those old R.L. Stine books where you get to choose the ending. And I eventually got fed up with him talking about every outcome in the college football season and how this outcome wasn't good for the game. And the game really needs this. The game's fine, first off. And secondly, this is not Hollywood. This is competition. It's sports. So sometimes we get results that may not pop the biggest TV rating in the world, and it may not bring people in from all four corners of the country. The only alternative is to quite literally do what they do in pro wrestling, which I got no problem with, but that's choreographed. This is competition. It's real life. So sometimes it just works out this way.
Georgia's the favorite. What do they have to do to win?
Well, they've got to do some things they didn't obviously have the ability to do last time. I think a lot of folks are talking about Stetson Bennett, and it's fine because he's their quarterback, but that is not where I start. In fact, someone asked me on my show last night if you could know one stat about this game to give you the best gauge on how it was going to turn out. What would that stat be? And I just want to know what Georgia's yards per carry average is. Because last game, we were doing post-game hits immediately afterwards, and I just assumed everyone was going to talk about Stetson Bennett throwing some picks, and they were right. He did. But, Jordy, there is no world where Stetson Bennett's having to throw the ball more than 40 times where I trust Georgia to win. And by the way, he's had to do that the last couple of times they played Bama. And that really coincides with them not being able to run the ball better. 3.6 yards per carry is what they had against Bama in Atlanta. There is no world, again, where they are not running the ball more effectively than that, where I trust Stetson Bennett to shoulder the load. This is the antithesis of what Alabama has. Alabama has a kid in Bryce Young where you can tell me they'll be able to run the ball. Maybe they won't. Who cares? Bryce Young can get the job done either way. Well, that's not what Georgia has. So that's the first thing they have to do. Second thing they have to do is obviously they have to pressure Bryce Young. They don't have to sack him. The sack total is overrated. They have to affect him. When teams, LSU did this actually, when LSU affected Bryce Young this year, when Auburn affected Bryce Young. It's not that he was on his back every other play, but you saw him get a little bit more inconsistent, understandably so, as the game went on, and they never really found a groove with the pass game. If Georgia can do that, that means the game is played in the 20s instead of getting up in the 30s, and at that point they give themselves the best chance to win.
Josh, I know you keep up with this, and I know you got a little Ramen Noodle Express. I know you're a gambling man yourself. Why? The only thing that makes me hesitant about the Alabama-Georgia rematch is the spread. Why would you think that Alabama goes into that game favored?
Underdog.
I'm sorry, as an underdog. Excuse me. I know.
I'm on the other side of that. I was that same buddy who I'm on the outs with right now. We were talking about this. We covered. Apparently, I show prepped for you with my buddy last night. So
it was me.
So you asked me the question last night while we were on the phone. You said, "How could Georgia be favored, but then they lose, and Alabama not be favored this time?" Well, actually, the way the odds-making world works, if you think about it, this is a massive jolt from a 6.5-point number to a 2.5-point number with the same matchup on a neutral field only a month apart. Like, I know what the typical mindset would be looking at this, but I also know how odds making works. Odds making works in numbers, works in percentages, works in simulations over 1,000 games. It is a huge move. It's a huge move to just have Georgia as this small a favorite after they were nearly a touchdown favorite. So it would take several times for Bama repeating what they did last game for them to get up to that touchdown favorite kind of level.
Are you taking Bama?
I did take Alabama.
Did you get him at +3 or +2.5?
I got him at plus, but let me say this. So I have not actually bet the side. If I had to bet a side, I would bet Bama. I think there is some massive opportunity to be had in the prop bet market on this game. Let me give you an example. So John Mechie is out of this game for Alabama. You remember back in 2015, the first time Bama and Clemson played, they go out to Arizona, and Bama's down a receiver, and all of a sudden there's this 5-star tight end that they hadn't really used in the passing game all year named O.J. Howard that just explodes, had over 200 yards receiving that day. There is going to be much more Georgia pressure brought tonight. There's going to be a lot more attention on Jamison Williams. There is going to be a glaring mismatch somewhere. I'm telling you, they know it. Georgia knows it. They're just counting on pressure getting home. But if it doesn't, to me, Jaleel Billingsley is the guy. Like, he's the guy to look for popping a bigger number than you would expect. His over-under receiving yards total right now, 16.5. It's been there all week. And I've tried to explain to people how opportunistic that number is for you. So I've taken that. I've also taken, I think, James Cook for Georgia, over 20.5 receiving yards. Really think he'll be active out of the backfield tonight. So those two, I mean, I have bet bigger amounts on those two than I have the actual side in total.
On the other side, Brock Bowers, what type of effect do you see him having on the game?
I think he has a big effect because he's a guy, as you saw later in the last game they played, where Alabama focused added attention on him. I call it 1.5 or 2 attention on him, and he still was able to get the job done. But I'll tell you the tight end, ironically, that I'm focused on for Georgia, it's not even Bowers. Bowers is a constant. He's a given.
Washington?
I think one of Georgia's better opportunities, especially when they get in plus territory in this game tonight, is to do a little bit of what they did last game. They threw a ball up to George Pickens early, and he snagged it and brought it down, but they also threw one up in the end zone to Darnell Washington, a tight end for Georgia, who's an ogre. He's like 8'3", he's huge, and he just high pointed a ball over Henry To'oTo'o's head. Yeah. Look, that's not a 50-50 ball. When you throw it to guys like that, that's not 50-50. That's a 70-30, 80-20 deal. And for a team that turned the ball over in plus territory as often as Georgia did, I'm not sure I wouldn't try that half a dozen times tonight.
Bill O'Brien, I thought, was a difference maker in the SEC championship game between these two teams. It seems like this is going to be the last game he calls for Alabama. His name is popping up on OC lists all over the NFL, most notably in Carolina with Matt Rule. What impact do you expect him to have tonight, and do you expect it to be the last game that he is the OC for the Tide?
I would lean that way, yeah. But I also
rehab
think
in Malibu.
Well, yeah, and listen, at least his last game as OC, he's actually going to call the title game. So he's handled the exit better than Lane Kiffin did once upon a time, getting fired 6 days before the title game. But I think the best tool you have with Bill O'Brien is in preparation. I think those NFL guys, I don't care how you view his tenure as an NFL coach, when you've got guys who have been at that level, the preparation that is necessary to even compete at that level, when you bring that back to the college game, I've always thought that's such a benefit. I always think also at the quarterback position, in the NFL, you play your division opponents twice every year. In college, it's not often that you do it. So when you get a rematch situation, I think it's really, really helpful to have NFL-minded people around you offensively, because they deal with that constantly. They're constantly getting the quarterback ready to face the defense for the second time, sometimes in a span of a month. And that's exactly what Alabama's doing tonight. So those two areas, preparation and then specifically at the quarterback position, getting a guy like Bryce Young prepared for different looks, that is where Bill O'Brien pays dividends.
Josh, you watch this much closer than I do. How is Slade Bolden playing for Alabama football? I don't know. It might be a personal vendetta from a Louisiana guy going to Alabama, but I have no idea why he's on the field. He had a breakout game in the SEC championship, if you want to call it that. But how does he keep finding himself in position to return punts, start at wide receiver, throw passes, run wildcat quarterback? He is all over the field, and it feels like Alabama has better players than him, but he keeps being out there. Do you understand Slade Bolden at all?
Yeah, they trust him.
Okay.
That's it. You said they've got better players. Well, I would partially agree with you in that they've got far more talented players. They just brought in the number one receiver class in the country last year. And yet, as you just alluded to, we've seen Slade Bolden more than Ajay Hall. We've seen him more until recently than Ja'Cory Brooks. We've seen him more than JoJo Earl. And the reason is not because he is superior talent-wise. He just does enough things good enough. He is, at his core, what he is a guy you can trust to be where you tell him to be.
So
and you may think, oh, that's a given. This is Alabama. Everyone does that. Well, normally that's true. But over the past 4 years, they've lost Judy and Waddle and Devontae Smith and Henry Ruggs. It's not a given, even when you recruit like them, that the cupboard is just stocked with guys you can trust. The talent's there. Guys you can trust, I don't know. And that's why he's been there as sort of a possession guy. Finally paid off for him a little bit in the SEC championship game. What's funny, though, is this is the same thing Bama fans say. It's like, oh, can we not find anything better than Slade Bolden? And they're playing for a national title.
That's so good. I know it is a busy day for you. What is you're about to start here in about 5 minutes? How's the schedule work up to kickoff? How can we follow you?
Here's what's convenient. So we're doing hits all day on CBS Sports HQ. Honestly, I think we have too many for me to even list right now. But the way they have Indianapolis laid out for no one who's ever been here is we're in the JW Marriott. So that's the big downtown hotel with the plastering all over the side for the playoff propaganda, even though it looks pretty. So they have skywalks that connect everything, kind of like Minneapolis. So I actually don't have to get in a car or get out on the street to get over to the stadium. You can just go straight from your hotel room to it back and forth. So we're going to be over there all day working with Dodd and Cannell and all the guys with CBS Sports HQ. And then once the game starts, my job's over. And that's the way you want to structure your workday, Jordy.
Yes, good luck with that, man. And the game is going to be fantastic tonight. It is not. It is very rare that you can find one of us who is a layman in the media stand next to a former pro athlete and make them look small. And you have done that, Josh. You and Danny Cannell's stand up yesterday, bro. You look like the pro athlete, and Cannell looks like kind of the prankster in the mock turtleneck and the
turtleneck
and the sport coat, bro. I don't know what plan you've been on since Christmas, dude, but you look yoked right now.
TB12.
They gave us scarves as the media gift. And look, this dude rocks a scarf while he's playing with his daughters in his backyard, and he didn't wear the scarf yesterday. That, to me, is the smallest feature of anything that we've done here so far. That Cannell would not wear the Indianapolis college football playoff scarf they gave us. That, to me, was the disappointment of this weekend.
Josh, your arms are massive.
Massive, bro. Massive. I mean, he looks like a third baseman. We're getting it. Look at him.
I'm going.
Look at the guns on this guy, bro.
I mean, this is not suited for work, Josh.
He's been using the grip.
A couple of hand squeezers. Have a great day, bro.
This is porn.
This is all built around being ready for spring softball season. That's all this is about.
First pick, bro. You look like the first pick.
Cannell looks like a villain.
Enjoy the day. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, man. There he is.
Cannell needs a chain.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does with like a white husky dog standing next to him on a.
He's not.
And a pinky ring.
Oh, I forgot mine. I almost wore it.
I got Cade York has been confirmed here on the Jordy Culotta show. He'll be here at 8:30 this morning. So former LSU kicker Cade York, who put his name into the NFL draft, will stop by here in 30 minutes. We'll talk to him about the last 3 years, all of his accomplishments, and maybe some of the expectation where he expects to go. I mean, he's going to be like a 5th to 7th round draft pick?
You would assume.
Yeah, I mean, like, he gets taken, right?
He can't. He couldn't have done anything more than what he did.
Exactly.
Like, there's a reason he's going.
The length. That's all. I mean, that's what you.
He's
look
got
at.
the length.
The length. The
That's
length and the accuracy, baby.
First question.
Doesn't miss. Gets it right through the hole.
164 out of 168 extra points. Cade York over the last 3 years, and 54 of 66 field goal attempts.
And what's his percentage from the 50 plus? That's really good.
It's got to be 85, 90.
Right. And that's the thing is he has like 56 to 65 range. Like he kicks field goals in the before the game at 65 yards.
Daily, we're brought to you by Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. Remember our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. CajunRMC.com is where you find them online. CajunRMC.com is how you get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. They can help you out today with any job, may it be residential, commercial, industrial, municipal. All of your concrete needs are ready for you over at Cajun Ready Mix, as they can help you out. They got 9 plants around the greater Baton Rouge area. How does that help you? That means when you order concrete, it'll be delivered on time and to the exact specification. Find out how Cajun Ready Mix can help your job today, whether it's a residential job, a commercial job, industrial, municipal, by getting in touch with them. Online's the best way to do it. CajunRMC.com. High-quality products, grade A equipment, red carpet surface, and clear safety standards is what you get from our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. CajunRMC.com.
I want them to fix our parking lot. Every time I back out, I feel like I go like
at the Noodle.
I think it's impossible to fix.
I don't think you can either.
It's too close to the other spots.
In the cliff.
I
mean, it's a fall.
And it'd be very expensive to fix that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I've almost hit that. I've almost hit that pole. Probably
lot.
15
I've almost hit the house, actually.
Yeah.
Like backing up.
Garbage cans.
Backing up.
Yeah, almost hit
they
everything.
need to move the garbage cans over.
I mean, I had to stand on the brake the other night. Like backing up. I
That's
was not paying
scary.
attention, you know what I mean?
See, I do this with my car where I'll have it in park and still have my foot on the brake for like way too long.
Me too.
I think I've
I do
ruined
that.
my brakes.
Oh, I
doing
believe that with you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just making
Stoner.
safety-
You even have brakes?
absolutely.
Huge
Just
stoner
blaze.
move.
Yeah, like okay, are we both?
You know the car's off, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do that.
I had the
Let's
emergency.
hit this window roll down.
Is it cool to let go of the emergency brake yet?
Just don't want to
Yeah,
get
you
anybody
nerd.
in a wreck.
It's in park.
Do you turn the car off with it still in drive?
I've done that.
Yeah, a lot.
I do
Yeah.
that too sometimes, especially if I'm on the phone.
You're
Like,
out
if
of
I'm
yourself.
distracted,
And then you can't
like-
get the key out of the ignition. And you're wondering, like,
like,
what the
what's
hell's
going
going
on?
on?
Oh, I can see you throwing a fit. You just, I don't know what's going on. Can somebody help me? Like, no, dude, you get out your own car.
Dad, put the car in park. Hush up back there.
Do you want me to drive?
Whose
Please.
fault is this? My keys will not come out of the ignition.
Who did this?
Somebody did this. Somebody drove my car.
Is anybody on social media?
Everybody have a good weekend?
Oh,
I
next minute.
was scouting 5th grade basketball all of Sunday. I did not watch any NFL games. I bounced around from 5th grade basketball gym from Central Louisiana to McKinley Middle. Ended up at St. Aloysius yesterday afternoon. Walked into the St. Aloysius gym without my kid. No kid on the
alert.
floor. And I was scouting St. Aloysius and St. George's 5th grade teams, and I
Oh.
saw all the looks from the parents. Like,
You went just to scout?
absolutely,
That's amazing.
100%.
Oh my God.
What would you expect?
I nothing less.
Thank you.
Do you think you get a pass on not being the crazy
No.
athlete parent?
No, not at all.
Because
Why would he
I
get a
think
pass?
we
Why
give
would
him
he get
a.
why?
I feel like we give him a pass around
Who
here. Like,
does?
oh, okay, me.
Right,
We
exactly.
just know
Who?
that.
I don't give him a
I
pass.
mean,
Okay. Never mind.
You embrace
You're
it,
on the
right?
clock.
You embrace that.
I mean, I respect it. I would probably be the
absolutely.
same way. If I'm coaching my kid,
Don't
like, I
think
don't
that
know
a
how-
young Matuk dad
It makes me nervous.
is not
going to
be a
No,
psychopath.
no, no. I mean, I'm gonna admit. I mean, I know it.
Yeah, right.
Allie, don't think that my wife's not going to be a psychopath
Sure.
mom.
Yeah.
She's more competitive than me.
The grandparents.
You get that way when your kids
Yeah.
start
The grandparents.
playing sports.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, Big Andy, he'll
No
be
doubt.
lunatic. I mean, I've had to quiet Frankie down a couple of times.
My mom used to yell at me every game, and I'm in the outfield. She used to tell me to pay attention. She couldn't even.
With ADD, dude.
She couldn't even she couldn't sit behind home plate. She had to go by herself,
Yeah.
so nobody would talk to her. So she could yell at me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my first game at
guess it worked.
Parkview, Parkview is very religiously is the foundation, right? Like the religion is the foundation at Parkview. And our first
Football.
our first I
God's country and
I
football.
transferred in my
Is that what you wanna
my
call it?
junior year is the term that we will
You hit the portal.
I was recruited in my junior year. So the story goes.
You don't have to shave your son.
Right. And in football bleachers filled with Parkview parents, right, that had not met the Culottas for the first time.
Bunch
I
of
believe,
passes,
yeah,
didn't
right,
know what
right.
hit 'em.
It's Culotta
I
worth
believe
the headache.
I threw a pass to a wideout who had one hit him right in between the numbers, and he dropped it. I believe my mom yelled out, "Catch the fucking ball!" And everybody was like,
Oh yeah. Sounds just like it.
"It was like what? It hit him in the chest!"
You want to put a bow on it next time? You just held your shit. You wouldn't be catching it and throwing it.
Jesus! Let me use his hands. I let it hit the pads. For God's sakes.
84, you'll be at the Culotta house Sunday. We're practicing.
Jeff Marshall on scouting 5th grade basketball. Whoa. Yeah, Jeff, get out of here if you don't like it, bro. Naquilus Dilwad, did y'all win, Jordy? We rolled, Naquilus. I
you
bet
flexing
you.
right now?
I bet
Are
you
you
gave
bragging?
tickets to the recruits. I did, Tom. No, not so much, but we won the champion. We won the Alphonsus tournament.
How many games?
We had 2 yesterday, and then I went and watched a third
mean-
for St. Aloysius and St.
I was waiting for you.
St.
to
Two
George.
games of
react.
championship.
2 games yesterday.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I mean, it was all weekend. It was an
Oh,
all-weekend
okay.
tournament.
I'm with you. I didn't say you can't.
He had to go
just say-
semis and finals.
Semis and
Yeah,
finals
you
yesterday.
can't just bird dog
Undefeated,
yourself
coach,
in
in
there.
the
Yeah,
tournament.
okay. all right.
Speaking
So,
of
our
crazy
margin of victory.
coaches, so Black Monday is the thing. This is Black
Yes,
Monday. is the
absolutely.
thing.
Is this
And
Black Monday?
No, Black Monday happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
No, I thought there were more. No, it's today
No,
because
well-
they're acting like others are going to get fired, right?
Well,
They
Black,
are.
I believe like head coaches
Black
fired
Monday-
today,
Black
but we
Monday
saw
is
the
the
assistants
first-
start to move around a couple
Yeah.
weeks back.
Yeah, Black
Yeah.
Monday is the first Monday that the NFL coaches can fire their guys or other teams can start interviewing.
Yeah, it says the first day after the regular season. That's today, right?
Well, that's for I guess head coaches, but 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, that's why.
That's Matt Houston.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why he announced he was coming here because you're not allowed to announce anything or really take. I mean, you can have interviews, but you can't request to ask to interview a head coach until after the season's over with. But I guess they consider Black Monday 2 weeks before the season ends.
Okay. So there's going to be more fires today,
Oh yeah.
potentially.
Hey, if
are
Joe
we
if
expecting?
Joe Judge does not get fired, even though they told him that he has a
He's
year
he's
left,
on there.
get the fuck out, bro.
Yeah.
Don't quarterback sneak in the NFL on
Coach.
3rd and 9 on your
Coach.
5. Don't do that.
That was almost
embarrassing.
That's a fireable offense.
It's fire. He should have gotten. He should never. He should.
I thought that he should have gotten fired after the game
He shouldn't
yesterday.
have. He should have been fired mid-game.
When he ran that, I thought to myself, I wonder if they'll move him because of that, because it felt like a very FU type
Yeah, that's
move
exactly what
to
it
the
was.
customer
Well, he's
base.
on the list. Mike Zimmer, Pete Carroll.
Wow, Mike
Yeah,
Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer's out. I think they knew. They pretty much said that he's
Matt
he's out.
Nagy.
Wow.
Matt Nagy's
I
out.
know
They already
Nagy's
said he's
out.
Yeah.
I wonder what they do with Matt Rule.
Big NFL show all of a
I
sudden.
think they said they gave him an extra year.
They're going to give him an extra year?
Hey, I'll tell you what though, the guy from the Oakland Raiders should
Yes,
get a head coaching
he absolutely
job somewhere.
should. He
Wait,
should.
Who's
and
that?
the and
Are they going to keep him, though?
Masaccio?
Okay.
They may, but he's.
I saw Vic Fangio was fired yesterday.
He'll get a
Wow.
job.
Yeah.
He'll get a job somewhere. I think he did a pretty good job in Denver with the quarterback.
Think a head job or a DC?
no DC 100%.
Yeah, DC.
For sure, but I mean, look at the quarterbacks they had there.
Yeah.
They had nobody that really could play behind. They had Teddy Bridgewater, but he really wasn't that good, and he still were competitive.
If Dennis Allen gets a head
He's
job,
gonna get a head job.
you go get Vic Fangio right now. Like that
Nah.
would be the next
Yeah.
move because Dennis Allen has been unbelievably good for the Saints, and I know he had a time with the Oakland Raiders at the time, but they should probably look at him again. That shit, the Raiders are the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like this is an unbelievable. Like what happened yesterday was exactly what the NFL wants. It was a wild scene
It was.
because I was locked in and I didn't even know the playoff scenarios. Like
I
I
know.
can't keep up with it with
I
the
can't
extra
either.
game and everything that was going on. Then you have the game that's not supposed to go to overtime
Yes.
or finish in a tie that like legitimately had a chance to finish in a tie. It felt like the WWE and I was all in.
The extra week of the NFL regular season has worked out in year one for them. I mean, a lot. Nobody,
confused.
Nobody stopped watching yesterday.
No.
Right? Like nobody. I think that was one of the big concerns within the boardroom was you're going to get to week 18, week 17, and nobody's going to care because it's not going to mean anything. Like none of the games are going to mean everything's going to be sewn up. Joe Burrow will be able to sit and watch. Right?
That's what they wanted to do, right?
Their
What?
scheduling was great. They scheduled really
Yeah,
well.
they did.
Scheduled the games.
They did.
Having conference games at the end of the year and back
Divisional
loading
games.
Divisional games, that helps out a lot because the last 4 weeks of the season, like that's gonna make or break your season because you're either jockeying for playoff position or you're jockeying for trying to win the division. I think that was a great scheduling by the NFL.
They've got it figured out.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they're trying to make it year round. I mean, they're
Yeah.
trying to make the NFL calendar not necessarily the games, but draft, all of the stuff that they're able to
Content.
captivate, combine.
Well, they have the best draft. I mean, they have the best draft in all of.
It's
sports.
unbelievable.
The worst
and,
is baseball.
And how they sell the draft. It's like prime time entertainment. I mean, it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night deal where you're in prime time in the middle of baseball season.
Well, now they're moving it, and now they move it to different spots. Not just in New York. It's not just in Radio
Right,
City anymore.
right,
So which
right.
helps, which brings a
it
little
kind
bit
of builds
more.
the.
Yep,
I mean,
yep,
if you remember a couple years back, the Nashville one
yep.
was
yeah.
phenomenal.
That
Right.
was.
Well, you remember the girl that had her bachelor party or bachelorette party, excuse me, and didn't know that they had the NFL draft the same day, and she's trying to cruise up and down the street. And she's like, "Why is everything blocked up?" It's like, dude, read a newspaper, look around you. Like the NFL is here. They don't care about
The
your
biggest
bachelorette
business in the
party.
world is now just
Yes.
plopped down in
That-
Nashville.
about
Her
that.
poor husband, who's like, dude, I tried to tell you the NFL. It's like, oh, that won't be a thing.
He's like,
And
the
it's
wedding's
They were
off.
probably there.
He was probably at the draft, painted up. He's like, have a great time.
Daily, we're brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. Get in touch with our friend Barrett Blondo over at Falaya Real Estate to check out some of the latest listings over there. You can download the app, which is very easy to do. Looking forward, Barrett extended the invite on January 26th, I believe, to check out his new studio, his new podcast studio, which if you haven't seen it, man, I mean, like,
Looks very similar.
we are swimming in a new studio over here that we love.
I see
Barrett's,
what you did, Barrett. I see you.
You already did. You already did.
Copied
Yeah,
us.
yeah. No, that. He hired Flashbang.
Oh, I know.
He
Yeah.
just
well,
said,
no, but they didn't pick up
go
the
to work.
furniture. Like,
right.
you know,
Oh, Katie.
it's just interesting.
But it was great to
Do
see.
you think I did it behind the scenes? Do you think I was?
Does
over
look
there
very
like-
Did you
similar.
not pick out the furniture?
I picked out our furniture, but
Oh,
not
yeah,
Barrett's
yeah.
furniture.
Oh,
It
that's
looks
what I'm
very
saying.
similar.
What if I
Yeah.
did though? And if I was like, yeah, I helped him get that
You should do that. You've got a great eye.
podcast.
Be an intern,
Sounds-
an interior designer for
I
podcasts.
mean, like one of the first texts I got after he saw this, he was like, "Dude, we have the same chairs."
I know. It's very strange.
All right,
Send me your
Katie,
contact.
We'll talk to you
Yeah.
after the show.
Looks
Yeah.
like Katie's number. Falaya Real Estate online, Falaya.com. Get in touch with them. They're Falaya Real Estate. Barrett Blondo can help you out. They're really changing the way that real estate is bought and sold here. And there is
I guess
obviously
podcasting.
a push in 2022 on educating the client, educating the customer. And that will be done through podcasting and other ways of informing the client. But Falaya Real Estate has done an incredible job of being able to start that relationship with you, the home buyer, and
We gotta scroll through Lloyd's house
you
on
and,
here.
you and the seller. Falaya.com.
We gotta get you in that house.
We will
gotta
talk
get you a
to
new house.
We will talk
Buy
to
a new
Cade
one.
York
Look at this place.
coming up here in a couple. Have you still not
That's
seen the
all I want.
place?
No, I need to
You-
go get
Yeah.
a lock
You
and
have
key.
because
We need to
you've
do
driven
a
by.
drive-by. Yeah,
You've
Well,
driven
Clay
by
got
it a
Just
million
ask,
times.
just ask
yeah.
that you just say I'm interested in seeing the house. Get a tour.
yeah.
I am interested in seeing the house. I am getting a tour right
There
now.
you go.
I'm a part of a new.
Truly, that's what makes Falaya
I'm a part of a new
That's
podcast.
right.
Look
Barrett.
at you.
That's right.
Look at
Falaya
you.
different.
This is where they should have done the podcast. I'll talk to him.
That does look like a great
That's
setup.
a great setup.
All right,
No
we'll reset
privacy.
and be right back. We'll talk to Cade York. Whoa.
No, you're done.
We will talk to Cade
Dude,
York
speaking of setups, how about
in
a
15 minutes.
Little watch party tonight?
Yeah.
You think so?
Speaking of, watch party tonight, national championship game. Jack Besh has been confirmed. He will be here at 7:30 tonight. And we will have Besh a part of the broadcast for a small amount of time. get him in here and just watch ball, talk to us about his freshman season, what he expects in year 2, and
what happened in the bowl game. We'll ask him all the hard-hitting questions.
We'll ask him to break down Alabama and Georgia tonight. So it should be fun. Set your alert, set your notifications that we will be here for the Natty from the watch room tonight over at the Noodle. We'll be right back. We'll talk to Cade York 15 minutes from now here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
See if we can get him in there too.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Revolving door.
Wait, is it working?
No, that's where it stops.
I was gonna say, what if you lean it back?
I'll try.
Turn the table a little bit.
Oh yeah, turn the table.
Just turn the table.
We didn't think about it.
Take the root.
Actual table.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Edward Jones. Remember Daniel Newman, Daniel.Newman. Plan on coming out and supporting the tailgate this Saturday.
Yeah,
LSU, Arkansas.
It didn't rain.
I know. I knew it.
I know.
I knew
Everything
it.
got canceled
I knew
Saturday
it.
and nothing.
11 to 1 o'clock. So 1 o'clock is the tip-off for LSU, Arkansas on Saturday. Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones is going to throw a tailgate starting at around 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. Be cooking up some of the breakfast goodies for you before tip-off.
Where is it?
It's going to be in
the balcony Bengals. No,
lot 108.
Should we try to do a show?
well, they're going to come by and do some content with everybody.
From there?
A live show.
That'd be awesome.
Let's talk about this off
That'd be
air.
awesome.
No, that's how sausage is made. Sausage is made.
All right,
This is how I get to know.
make sure and hit that like button. No, I like it. I mean, I like
It's
the
a great idea.
Just logistically. We were talking about Black Monday in the NFL. The axes are starting to swing as one has connected in Minnesota. Mike Zimmer is out with the Vikings. Patrick Peterson, a pick six yesterday for the
Dude,
Vikings.
looks
Justin
young.
Jefferson, another solid season for him as a pro. And Mike Zimmer is out in Minnesota. So
We
Vikings
just spoke it right before the break.
in the market looking for a new head coach, as we've seen a couple of we mentioned Vic Fangio was out last night in Denver. Tonight or this morning it is Mike Zimmer at Minnesota. Zim.
Zimmer.
But it will be who? Nagy.
Really?
Matt Nagy.
So we got two
Got
to go
jobs
then.
popping up all over the NFL. Denver is open. Minnesota is open.
Peyton
Chicago
Manning to
is
Denver?
open.
Oh my God.
Dennis Allen, where does he make sense out of all three of those teams? Minnesota? Or do you go?
I think
for,
they go
can't
do you go
opposite.
defense?
they
Yeah,
go
you go offense this time, right?
Yeah,
I think they go
yeah,
opposite.
they can't figure it out. So he goes to Chicago.
No, maybe
'cause-
Chicago.
Yeah.
Matt Nagy. But I think, yeah.
So Pete Carroll and Joe Judge are next, huh?
Well, they said Joe Judge gets another year. I don't think that. I think last.
Was this his
yesterday-
first year or second year?
This is his
His
second.
This is his
Third.
no.
Third. I think it's his third year.
Really?
I think this is his second. I don't think it's his third.
No, I
Is
think
it?
it's his second.
I think
Let's go
it's-
to
The
Google.
Google machine can
I'll
tell.
ask Jeeves.
I'm saying second. I'm saying second.
Yeah, maybe. I think you're right. I think it's his second. So next year will be his third. But they say he's staying. I don't think he's. I think he's gone. I think. I think yesterday was like the final.
Yeah.
the
Ah,
final
damn it.
straw.
The
Yeah,
quarterback
2020.
sneak lost it.
Yeah, I'm
Pay
wrong.
up.
I'm wrong.
How about
I still
Klay
owe you
Thompson
$100.
coming
I
back?
know you do.
Did
Who?
y'all see Klay Thompson? How about him coming
Oh,
back?
that was awesome.
That
was awesome. He shot the
That was
ball every
awesome.
single time he touched it.
Golden
Yeah.
State's they're gonna run through this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean they
They're
feel 4 years ago Golden State. They feel
Well,
like
Steph looks
the
like he's
year before they
25.
got KD.
No.
That was their best team, right? The 73 wins. They got beat in the championship by LeBron. That was their best.
You know how many shots did Klay Thompson take last night? I want to say he took 30
scored
shots.
17 points.
Let me see if we can find that for you.
I'm telling you. I mean, look, his first game back in 2 years. Throw it out there, bro.
941
Yeah, why not?
days he's been
3
gone.
years.
Damn.
Is that crazy?
What happened?
He-
He tore his
ACL, then
ACL.
Achilles.
It was
Yeah.
Achilles first, I thought, right?
It's ACL
In the
first.
finals.
Okay, ACL, then Achilles.
In the
recovered,
finals on a
yeah.
dunk.
Yeah.
That's not his game, dude.
He
Stay-
tore his
play your
Achilles
game.
during rehab.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We talked
Gosh.
Achilles talk.
7 of 18 last night. Clay
18
was
shots.
in 20 minutes. He only took a shot per minute.
That's what
20
it was.
minutes.
That's what it was. It was
7
the
of
ratio.
18
I'm
in
here,
20
boys.
minutes. Had 17 points last night
His hands are hot.
for Moon
ratio.
on his way back. But once he gets it right, and Golden State rolled last night 96-82 over Cleveland.
They nailed all. They've nailed all their young guys.
Yeah.
That
Wait,
sounded bad,
Wiseman's not even playing.
but- No, but they've gotten guys that they just fit.
GP3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wiggins.
And Wiggins,
Kenny loves Gary Payton.
Wiggins has been
The
awesome.
light,
I do love
the
Gary
light have
Payton.
gone. The light has gone on for Wiggins. I mean, it's like it's clicked. Yeah, he's in a perfect role. He's in a perfect role. He is. Gary Payton is loud.
Gary Payton sends me on
GP3 is loud.
He can get you up. He gets
Yeah,
high up
right.
there,
Oh,
doesn't he?
man.
Speaking of Gary Payton, did y'all see the video clip of Gary Payton, the real Gary Payton, not his
That's what we're
The
talking
glove.
about.
not his
glove.
son, not his son,
The glove.
the glove, talking about how Larry Bird was the biggest shit talker in all
Yeah.
of sports,
Yeah.
and how he said that he was a G. He goes, that was the best shit talker
Oh
I've ever
man,
had.
I mean his.
in my time. But the story of actually what he said and how he said it, because he's telling it, the glove. Gary Payton's telling it to Draymond, and so Draymond's like, really, he's like that. He goes, he's like that, and more. And it was
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to listen to him talk.
Some of his stories are phenomenal. Like some of the Larry Bird vintage stories. Doc Rivers has
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
Larry Bird stories. I don't know if you've ever heard him tell that time when Atlanta played Boston. You know, Atlanta used to play like 8 or 9 games a year in New Orleans. They would travel and kind of like try to pick up Gulf Coast fans with Dominique Wilkins and Doc Rivers and that crew. Spud Webb was on those teams. And one year they played, I believe it was like 1986, they play the Boston Celtics at Lakefront UNO Arena. At UNO. And Lloyd, if you could bring this up, if somebody could find this, It is the finest piece of highlights in basketball I've ever seen. Atlanta is like their bench is celebrating Bird's shots. Like Bird is killing Atlanta. Like I mean, he's like shooting the ball and like running down court, and like talking shit like to him. And it gets to a point where Bird is like they're playing in front of the Atlanta bench, and like the Atlanta players are like toweling, fanning Bird off because he's so hot. And Doc Rivers tells a story about Mike Fratello was the head coach for the Atlanta Hawks. Italian, smooth dressing, kind of dude.
Place in your heart.
Right? Love him.
The guy from what's the guy from Villanova?
The Czar.
Same guy.
Yeah, same guy. Same
type
guy.
of dress.
Jay Wright.
Jay Wright.
And he was telling how Fratello like suspended 3 of the guys on the bench because of like the way that they were acting like during the game. But if you bring it up, look, this is it. New Orleans, watch the bench. Watch the people on the bench when
they start heating up. They start heating up.
He starts heating up, and
look how young he is.
This might get us demonetized. Just full disclosure. I don't know.
Stop.
Panthers fan 21. But anyway, watch the
it's unbelievable.
He scored 60.
Yeah, he scored 60.
60.
Yeah, I think he scored 30 in a half too.
Larry's a baller. Dude, look at that. Look at it.
Look at the bench.
White boy's doing it to us.
So
That's
funny,
amazing.
dude. Unreal. At UNO.
At UNO.
That's
Jeez.
crazy.
At the lakefront.
That's crazy.
One of the best venues to watch basketball. Really anything.
Really?
Live concerts, basketball.
I've been to concerts. I've never been to basketball
It is a great
Would
venue.
you move LSU to UNO for each season?
I don't know if you can do that just because of the travel, but I think the Centralplex makes sense, man. Like if you're gonna restore the Maravich Center, if you're gonna upgrade the facilities for LSU basketball, the Centralplex for a season would be awesome.
It would be
You know what I mean? It would be cool, like to have that. I mean, they play what, 15 games, conference games, and you probably play what,
15.
20 games non-conference, 22 games non-conference, in a home schedule for a college basketball team.
LSU feels like it's about to run out of home games. Like everything, it feels like has been at home for LSU.
I mean, they'll probably have 2 or 3 road games in a 2 games in a row. And it's going to even out now.
I think
That's what I'm saying. It feels like they're about to go on a big road stretch.
coming up, I think that they are about to have like that, like 2 road games in a week scenario. Like this week, they play Florida on the road and Arkansas at home. In 2 weeks, I think they go to Alabama and Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's about to get spicy.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
It's going to be,
Every game has been at home. Every big game has been at home.
which is awesome.
Except for
Oh,
Auburn.
yeah.
Except Auburn.
Except for
Dude,
Auburn.
Except for that one.
Florida burned the card already. When they brought Billy Napier out there for the Florida-Alabama game, they should have saved that for LSU.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge Lafayette contingency that loves Billy Napier. And they're
I still love Billy Napier.
I know.
Yeah, I love Billy Napier.
I do
Yeah,
too.
why wouldn't you?
But they're starting to flip from UL fans to now they're
Mm.
Florida fans.
course,
Like
'cause
I've
they
had
wanna hate LSU
conversations.
more. That's what
You're
they
right.
do.
Hayden Paris would love
Not
to
your
see
coach
Jordy
anymore.
be more demonstrative in his Italian pride and institute tracksuit Thursdays.
Absolutely.
I'm all in, bro.
I'm on board with that.
I'm all in.
Tracksuit
on
every
that.
day.
Yeah.
Tracksuit Thursdays would be.
We got to
really
get you a
fun.
You can't beat a good tracksuit.
You really can't.
little chain.
Can't tell you last time
Can
I
you
wore a tracksuit.
can you put the best tracksuit I've ever seen was Edwin Edwards had a velour Adidas gold
Unbelievable.
tracksuit.
We looked at that one
is
day.
the finest
Yes.
Bro,
The
I got-
standard.
piece of gear. Have you ever
The
seen
gold
it?
standard.
Yes.
Have you ever
We
seen
pulled
it?
a picture up
Yes.
on the
I have
show
a
one
funny
day.
Edwin Edwards story that has to be off the air though. I can't go on.
Come on, Mikey.
I can't. It's
throw
it's
that
for
out
like
there.
personal, but like I just want everybody to know that I got a funny Edwin Edwards story, and it's.
What does that mean? I have drugs. I just wanted to give it. That didn't help me
I
at
got
all.
that. I just got that. I got that in the bag. I just wanted to let y'all know that.
Give me the
I am
bag.
fucking buzzing and you can't have any.
Why did you go to
Yeah,
the
it's gonna
bathroom
get some
so
people in
much?
trouble. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Statute of limitations haven't gone and passed on this
Maybe,
because I'd imagine
maybe.
that Edwin has got
Well,
a lot of
it
bodies
involves-
buried somewhere.
It involves my dad, which he's fine because my dad has passed. So like he
Okay,
can't get in
yeah,
trouble
the characters
now.
are gone.
Yeah, he can't get in trouble
Right,
now.
right.
Okay.
But, yeah,
Samuel Murphy jumpsuit January.
Oh, that's part of my
Okay.
take.
that's part of my take. Can't take that.
Okay.
Can't take that.
Hayden Paris, my wife got me an Adidas tracksuit for Christmas, and I rock it constantly. Pictures are it didn't happen, Hayden. Have y'all seen Sudeikis in a
Syndicated.
tracksuit
The
on
red
an
one.
SNL skit?
Yes.
That's What's Up With That? Ooh. You know that skit?
You
What's Up
can't
With
beat a
That?
good tracksuit. I'm telling you, man.
No, you can't. God, I want to go get
If I could get my hands on that gold velour Adidas
you're about
that
to.
Edwin
You're
Edwards
about
used to
to.
wear,
You're about
dude.
to.
Very,
Oh my God,
very
it's a gold
Run
tracksuit.
DMC vibes.
Courtesy
I
of
like the old school,
Look at that.
All-Stars.
Look at that.
Yes.
LPB had no idea what they had.
If
their
you could,
hands on.
if there's a shot of him from the back, there's a big LSU on the back of
Is
that.
there really?
Yes, I'm telling you. This was obviously Edwin in his heyday as the governor, and LSU had just gotten the.
He can't touch me.
He had just gotten the gear. They had just gotten the gear drop off, kind of like the new seasonal gear.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, like right at
Like
the
when the
beginning of the
freshmen
football
show up to
season.
class.
As soon as the gear comes in, and Edwin had gotten himself just a youth just an adult medium
Youth medium.
off the top. Edwin is a small dude. Small
Yeah,
dude.
he
Little
is,
Cajun.
I guess.
Was. Rest
Wait,
in
was,
peace.
that's right.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
I
forget
coached
guy.
the powder puff game in high school. Went full tracksuit, full
Yeah.
like just had to do the whole
course.
thing. Caught a touchdown pass.
You need a mock
And-
turtleneck under your
and then the
tracksuit.
powder
Wow, you
puff-
were a player.
No, I was a coach and I caught one. They sent, we were juniors and the other team was seniors. They sent all 22 out there. And I was like, fuck it, I'll run a route. Go ball. She hits me in stride tutter.
She?
Yes,
Wow.
all powder puff. It's the women's team. We were
Yeah, okay.
stacked, dude, loaded. We had two girls that went to go play college basketball that were studs. We had a girl get kicked out for tackling too hard.
Stop.
We were menaces.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coming to
But,
win.
Dude caught a tud in the
That's
game, and they're
awesome.
just
Yeah,
like
right.
this with a broken hand. Had a hand in the
Wow.
cast.
Quincy
Right
Wiggins.
hand, yeah.
Wow.
That video.
Yeah.
Has
crazy.
anybody seen the Quincy
Yes.
Wiggins? Everybody's seen
Should
the
I
Quincy
show
Wiggins
that?
video, right? Yeah,
Is
I mean,
it too
sure.
scary?
It is very scary.
He popped right up.
He did,
Which is
which is
impressive.
amazing.
Yeah.
Because I was
we can't
talking
tease it
to
like this in
one of
our
his
show.
guys yesterday, Daryl Owens, who's a great friend of ours. In fact, Daryl was the guy that helped us get Quincy in the studio a couple of times back at the UDL. And I was talking to him
UDL.
yesterday over at one of Little Jay's basketball games, and we were talking about the fall that Quincy took in Dallas or at San Antonio at the All-American game. And I mean, really and truly,
It's unbelievable.
he doesn't.
Yeah.
He is very lucky to be alive. I mean, first off, the rate of speed, I had no idea. Once you've seen the video the first time, you're like, oh, wait, this isn't a joke. You know what I mean? Like when we were talking about the story last week, we were like, oh, Quincy, man, I mean, he broke his arm on a scooter at an All-American game. Not like, Quincy's lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
He comes flying through this video screen at 6'6", nearly 300 pounds, and he looks like a rag doll being thrown in the air by this car. He lands on the back of his head and his arm, and the most impressive part about it
It's
is the
him.
way he just pops up.
Yeah.
Like he hits the ground, skids on the ground, and pops up, and just kind of keeps it moving. But come to find out,
How you doing?
he's got a broken wrist. He's got a knot on his head. But a very
Didn't he want to play still?
scary. Yes, he wanted to
That's
play in
a
the game.
win. That's a win. for
Huge
that
win.
situation.
Huge win.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Huge
whose
win.
fault was it? Did he?
It's his, I think.
Was it?
Yeah,
his?
it was his.
Okay.
It was his.
I mean,
Hold on, I have it here.
Doesn't matter whose fault. I'm just happy he's alive. I just didn't know if the guy ran the red light or if that was Quincy going through.
It's time to call Cade, huh?
Yeah, we're going to call Cade York. Give me 20 seconds. We'll reset and have Cade York here as we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
All right, here's the video. Sorry. Wearing many hats.
Yo, buddy, how you doing?
What the fuck is this?
We're on.
Jeez, look how scary this video is.
Oh
My
So
my
God,
gosh.
dude.
I mean,
Quincy Wiggins, dude.
Jeez.
Stay off the scooters, man.
I
Stay
mean,
off those
LSU
scooters.
football has already had a scooter problem.
All right, back
right.
to back to the air we go. As yesterday the news came through, as we said, it is Black Monday in the NFL, and we've seen some movement already start to happen. And in college football, we've already seen some of the big players in the sport announce that they are leaving. Maybe no big of a player as LSU's place kicker and field goal kicker the last couple of seasons. Cade York has been money.
Nails.
Money. 54 of 66 field goal attempts, 164 of 168 on extra points. He has been as close to a guarantee in points in the sport of football as you can find. He's leaving early. Makes sense. We were talking about it earlier in the show. He's probably going to get drafted. He's going to come
we'll
off
get
the
drafted.
board.
Probably.
He's
He
going to
will.
come off the board I'd imagine fairly earlier, be probably the first place kicker and field goal kicker taken in this year's draft coming up. He joins us now back home in Texas this morning here on this Monday, and it's great to talk to Cade York here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Cade, good morning. Happy New Year. Thanks for the time, man.
Good morning, y'all. How y'all doing?
Doing good. Could you ever tell me how nervous you were when you trotted you out there in Austin a couple of years back for your first big kick as a college football player from the state of Texas going into Austin? What was that moment like for you?
I mean, it was definitely cool being back in my home state. I grew up hating Texas, so that was nice. I actually grew up an A&M fan, so it was already bred into me to hate Texas. Texas A&M didn't work out, so I ended up going to the much better LSU. But it was awesome. It was definitely a little nerve-wracking, but it was mostly like in the warm-ups and like everything leading up to the game that was more nerve-wracking because, I don't know, I've always had this feeling of like when I go out on the field, especially when it's real loud and everyone's yelling, it just kind of like turns into white noise, and it just gets kind of like quiet, like how people sleep to kind of crap.
Right.
So it was awesome. I mean, yeah, leading up to it, I was pretty nervous because freshman going into a big game like that, but I guess that's kind of one thing that's helped me through my career because that kind of stuff just disappears when I go out there.
What was it like in stepping into that position after Cole Tracy was here for a year and really had stamped his name into the history of the program, and for you to step in and be a true freshman on that 2019 team? What was that responsibility like from your point of view?
It was definitely pretty big shoes to fill and pretty hard shoes to fill, and I think that was one of the mistakes I made my freshman year, trying really hard to fill those shoes. And I mean, if you looked at the stats, like all those missed PATs, half those missed field goals were all my freshman year. And I think that was a big learning curve for me, is learning the mental side of the game and being able to go out on the field and not have these types of negative thoughts and fill my brain with just neutral thoughts and positive thoughts, where it just your body takes over and you're not thinking about the kick when you're kicking. So I learned a lot from Cole because Cole is an amazing guy. I still keep in touch with him every once in a while, but that was definitely something that was a struggle because not only myself comparing him to him, but also people and fans and even teammates would mention his name and bring up how great he was. So it was a hard thing to get over when I first got there, but it's definitely something that drove me to be better, but I also ended up getting over.
Was he jealous of your leg?
If he was jealous of my leg, I'd say I was jealous of his straight ball every time he kicked.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned something on about the mental part of it, because as a kicker, it's the one position in football that's really not like every other, right? You don't have a bunch of opportunities to kind of make up for either a missed PAT or a missed field goal. What is your routine? Everybody just watch you go up there and just kick, right? But I know you probably have a mental routine, a breathing routine, something that you do to get ready for those situations. What is that?
I definitely am very habitual. If anyone, I've had people tell me they watch me on the sideline and like, yeah, I figured you out after one game kind of thing, just by everything I do. I have the same routine in the kicking net. Once they get close to the 50-yard line, I'll start hitting. Once it hits third down and it's not manageable or it's in field goal range, I drop the stick, put them in all in the net, and run to about like 40 yards behind the play and just stand to be ready. I brush the grass around the field, do a dry swing once I get past the hash, get the spot. I won't get the spot and start taking my steps unless the ref puts the ball down and get out of the way. I don't like having to stand back in my steps. And then as I get back there, I have like this little thing I do with my back foot, and then I take a deep breath, say a couple things in my head, and then by that time there's no time left and the ball's already being snapped. So it doesn't really give myself any room to think about any extra shit.
What do you say? What do you say in your head? What are the two things? The reason I ask is because I do some. Obviously, my routine when I go up to play is very similar. I just want to know like what you say.
One of the things I say is like
Kick this
God got
motherfucker
me.
through the upright.
And then the other one has a little profanity in it.
Yeah,
so
mine too.
I'm probably not gonna
It's
say
okay.
it.
You can say it on here if you want. It's okay.
Lloyd already said it.
It's okay.
No. It's all good. It's
I
all
tell
good.
myself I'm the baddest motherfucker here. Before I hit it. So that's what I tell myself before every pitch.
The last thing I say is right down the dick.
There we go. There we go.
Put it on the top.
That's it. Fuck yeah. There you go.
That's not the only bad thing I say, but that was something that I had a coach at LSU. I added that one in later because we had a coach that would always yell that we had like 2-minute drill or like situational stuff where I had made it field goals, and every time I kicked, he'd just scream that right after I kicked it. So I started adding that one in.
Love that.
I don't see Greg McMahon screaming that. That has to be somebody else.
Not Greg McMahon.
Could you see the goalpost in Gainesville that night, the night of the fog that you drill the 50-yarder? Could you see the goalpost?
Right down the
57.
I could see it. I could see it below the fog. Once it got like into the fog, because the lights were flashing too bright and it was kind of filling up the whole air with just all the fog and science crap, water molecules. I don't know how to explain it, but I couldn't see above the fog.
A lot of oceanography.
You knew you crushed that. You knew you nailed it, didn't you?
Yeah, that one felt good off the foot.
Was that the strangest, most difficult kick that you made in college? Was that the one that you think back on?
I wouldn't say most difficult. It was definitely the distance part of it was obviously the furthest, but there were other games that I kicked in harder conditions with weather, temperatures, wind. I'd say the 50 I hit against Ole Miss my freshman year was a pretty big one because I was kind of hurt that game and dealing with like my toe being messed up, and it was pretty cold and rainy. And that 50 I hit was pretty cool for me because I went out there just thinking like, honestly, just give it your best shot. I know you're not in the right spot or not in the best spot, so just give all you got, and end up working out. There were some windy games at Tiger Stadium this past year that some of the field goals were, but they weren't as long. I just had to make sure I hit them true and they stay in. But if we're talking just big time, meaningful in the game and distance wise, yeah, Florida's up there for sure.
Oh, dude! You mentioned feet care a little bit, and we have a foot person, a specialist on the show. But I've never really considered that. But do you go do like pedicures or whatever for your feet? Is that something that you feel like you have to take care of like weekly on a weekly basis because of how important it's kind of your livelihood?
Yeah, no, I don't do pedicures because even though I am a kicker, I kind of hate feet, and I don't like people.
Big
I don't
close
like people
tissue.
touching my feet or people touching me with their feet.
Yes.
Same way.
Okay.
Kind of a random fact, but like, yeah, I don't like that very much. But I mean, I do take care of my feet. I don't have like nasty toenails or anything like that.
You don't have bunions?
Pics or it didn't happen.
Put it in the chat.
We need foot pics.
Keep that to yourself, kid, because there's some weird people out
Yes,
there. You
there
may
are
get
some
some
strange feet
weird
people,
stuff.
bro.
Feet people.
Cade, when did you know that Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow? I ask everybody who played with him what the Joe Burrow story that they have. For you were a freshman with a front row seat at watching the greatness of Burrow in that offense. What was your point of view?
I don't know which one to tell.
It's a good one.
There's a few. There's a joke. I don't know if anyone's ever heard this story, actually.
Perfect.
There's a joke among the specialists. So every time we have a pregame, like our preseason scrimmage, it'd be in Death Alley in the stadium. And they would, you could either walk over there or they had buses that would take us over there. We usually walked, but Preston took the bus, and it's a full bus like for like a game, but there's only like 10 people on it. And apparently Preston got on the bus, down on like not the first, second, or third. I think he was like the fourth seat or something like that. Sat there with I think he was one of only like 3 people on the bus. And Joe Burrow got on the bus and walked into Preston and didn't say a word and just kind of looked at him. And Preston's just sitting there looking at his phone and looks up and just they stared at each other for a couple seconds. And apparently Preston's like, am I in your seat or something? And Joe just nods his head. And then they sit there. And then Preston's like, okay, fine, I guess I'll just move.
Yeah, guy, get the fuck up.
Do you know who I am here?
And then Joe sat down. So he made a deal that Preston was going to be mad at him forever unless he won the Heisman. So we made that deal then, and then he won the Heisman.
So you can't be mad at him.
That is so
Preston's
cool.
not mad
That's
anymore.
cool.
Hey, Preston, that's my seat. Get up. Yes.
Do you want to win a national championship or
This
not?
is the last time we're going to have this conversation,
Conversation.
Preston.
I'm going to be the #1 pick and win the Heisman, so we'll take that bet.
What is the process like for you now after you make the announcement? How do you get yourself prepared for the draft?
So I'm back in Dallas, all set up, new spot. I'll have my training with both just working out and getting my body ready, but also I'll have kicking training. I train with Cole's kicking, so I'll go meet up with Jamie Cole when he's free, and basically every other week. And then I have my guy in Dallas that's a part of the Cole kicking stuff that I work with on a weekly to daily basis kind of thing. And then just got to keep all that going and basically prepare like I've been preparing the last 4 to 5 years, and should all work out.
How is the NIL stuff for you? I know you signed a deal with Velveeta. What was that experience like for you?
I mean, it was surreal in the fact that I came to college expecting being a kicker at 1, and 2, I'm not the biggest guy on campus. I'm not gonna be like that guy. I'm not Joe Burrow. I'm not Jamar Chase. I'm not these guys that would have made so much money on NIL stuff. And then I remember it always being a thought and stuff like that, and I never really thought that was going to come while I was in college. Mm-hmm. So having it the last year, it was kind of cool, and especially I'd had 2 good years, and I'd kind of picked up a little press and PR, and people seemed to like me and all that. And then so I signed with the NIL company to kind of see if they could drum up any stuff, and within the first week, they're like, all right, we have something kind of weird, but we think it could be cool. I was like,
what's your thoughts on
okay.
Chase?
I was like, have you heard of Velveeta? I was like, yeah.
Have you heard of
It's been in the pantry every once in a while. And they're like, well, it's not the most normal thing for an athlete to do, but it's a national brand, and there's going to be no other kicker to do anything like this. So I was like, yeah, sign me up. So flew out to Chicago, did a commercial for him, and here we are.
Nice.
Where do you expect to get drafted? Do you expect to get drafted, and if so, where?
I do expect to get drafted.
Absolutely.
I have goals. I also have things people have told me. We'll figure out more. All that will line up later on once the NFL season's over and get in more contact. But I'm not gonna jinx anything, but I'm pretty positive I'll get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have left if I didn't believe that.
Right.
No, you're locked in somewhere.
Yeah,
Somebody called you. You're good. Wait. What is the combine process like for a kicker? Do y'all have to? You're not throwing up 225 and running a 40, right?
No. So
Could
most
you?
likely I would choose. I could. I mean, I put up
Do it.
decent numbers.
There you go.
Probably back in high school I could run a 4.6, but I haven't.
There you go.
I haven't
Let
run like
Smiles know that.
in 3 years. So yeah, my fake ability was not utilized while I was at LSU.
I mean,
Then I probably put up a good 12 to 15 on bench.
Ooh, that's
the
getting
number.
that's
after
a
it.
DB.
Hey, I remember when I was here, the kickers and the punters were putting some numbers in curls and bench presses in the weight room.
I mean,
during
Cade,
practice.
Avery Atkins in the open field is a problem, right?
That's why he's going to the draft.
Hey, let's just when we were working on more fakes that we didn't get to use, and let's just say we were both trying out for the quarterback position, and we were both trying out for the receiver position.
Love that.
We had one that we didn't run because I wasn't able to play, but let's just say I might have been lined up in a receiver position.
I love that.
How good was Jontre in practice at quarterback? Because he made some throws in that game that were big time.
Yeah, he was just watching him. He had, as soon as the news came out that Max was leaving, the next day I went in there to kick, and John Trey was in there at like early in the morning, already throwing routes, getting ready. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then just like, even like the days, like of course he's not gonna have the best days. He's a wide receiver that hasn't played quarterback since high school, but his attitude was always amazing. He was always like he just loved being there, and you could see it in his post game like press conference, like they're asking about like maybe y'all shouldn't have played, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like, why wouldn't we play? It's another opportunity to go out there. So his attitude was awesome, and he even made some great plays in the game. Like obviously, like it was a hard situation to be in, real thin and all that stuff, but I mean, obviously he never gave up. He threw a freaking 70-something yard dime on the very last play of the game. So it was pretty. I think it was a cool experience for him. It might not have, the outcome wasn't the best for us, but it was cool watching him do that.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the best advice someone gave you leading up to the draft? There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes in draft that nobody really sees. There's a lot of politics that happen. There's a lot of things that maybe someone fell that shouldn't have fallen, that someone else gets taken. Have you gotten some advice from people who've gone through this situation like you? And what have they told you?
Obviously it's pretty new. I did have a pretty long conversation with Coach Mack the other day. But he said some good things, because I was asking him, like, I've been getting pulled in a lot of different directions and having people want me to go to these camps and to these camps and to this combine and this combine. I'm like, and they're telling me, like, it's good to just be seen by all these people because everyone has relationships and stuff like that. And to a point, I'm sure that's true, but also, like, I asked him, like, what his opinions were on that, and he's like, well, you already have a decent name for yourself. You just need to do and work with who you have been and what you have been doing the past 4 years, because you've gotten better every year, and you've been the best at what you do in college since then. So why would you change that, and why would you change who you work with? That's always worked for you. So I guess that kind of gave me some peace about, am I training the right way? Am I working with the right people? Am I doing this the best way that I can to make sure the outcome's the best? Because that was something like, you kind of have to put a lot of trust in the people and trust in your agent and who they're setting you up with and all that stuff. And that kind of gave me a piece about the process, at least.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I listened to a good bit of the Pat McAfee show, always for the brand. But he says that there's different kickers that will kick the ball different ways depending on the situation. And he said the best ones that do it pound the shit out of it no matter where they are. And that feels like, is that something that you think, no matter yard or distance or whatever, I'm going to kick it the same way every time and just pound it and hope it goes through?
It's definitely the same way every time. Yeah. When I hear the word pound, I would say probably not, because to some people, yes, it's pounding, but to me, it's a controlled violence.
Big dick into the thing.
I'm not going out there and trying to hit it as hard as possible, because, I can probably kick a field goal from 70 yards. But if I kick like that every time, it's probably not going to be the most accurate. So it's a controlled violence for sure. But yes, I definitely kick my PATs the same way that I kick my 57.
What is the longest that you've? Where does your confidence fall off?
Post a video of a 70-yarder.
But seriously, where does your confidence fall off if somebody said get out there and go kick it?
I mean, it always depends on conditions, but pure like confidence is not the issue. I'm somewhat of a realist sometimes. I'm get to the point where it's like, hey, like, do your best on this, like, give it your all, but if you miss this, like, if anyone gives you shit for it, just tell them to
fuck off.
That's the greatest. That's the greatest
you
thing
do
you
it.
can
Exactly.
If you don't like it, come fucking.
I'm the only one out of this 103,000 that can do this.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're
for
talking
sure.
to John Trey.
For sure. Yeah, right.
Duray seems to think he can hit some field goals too. He kept on trying to set the money, but he never showed up. I don't know what's going on there.
Have you ever mastered a trick shot like you, Avery? I believe it was Griffin Brown, AJ Akai. That's when you and I first met. I saw you doing the trick shot on what was that? That was the lake in Alabama over there with Avery.
Yep.
Where you kicked to the jet skier and you hit him right on the money. That was as good a trick shot as I've ever seen. Is that the best trick shot you've ever pulled off?
How many beers?
And how many takes did that take?
That took 16 takes.
That's actually not that
That's
bad.
not that bad. No.
No, it wasn't. I was kind of
Jackson
surprised it happened
Mahomes.
that quick. The hardest part was figuring out when the jet ski should take off and if he was going. And then we had to switch jet ski drivers because one was terrible. Then after that, it only took like
That holder.
I love that.
and then it only took 2 tries after that. But yeah, I'd probably say that's definitely the most unique one. I don't like most of the time when I got the kick, I'm a little more do it with a purpose. I'm not like destroying kind of. He has to make content, so I get that. I'm more out there for a purpose. So I mean, I'll do. Yeah, sometimes I'll do like the one where they like kick it up to make it spin. I can do that one, but other than that, I had a friend in high school that would kick into a backflip sometimes, but I'm not that adventurous.
That's pretty athletic. Last one, I'll get you out of here. Is a holder place kicker relationship like a quarterback center?
Yes, it definitely is. It's so just the unit in general, snapper, holder, kicker is, I think, one of the most underestimated things is how important that relationship is and how much trust there is in that, because having not much turnover over my 3 years was a great thing. Like I had Blake and Zach, and then I had Quentin and Zach, and then I had Quentin and Avery. I always had one guy the same. Really helped. And having that relationship with Quentin and Avery I had this year was great. Like if I trusted both of them to have a great snap, great hold. If Quentin didn't have a great snap, I knew Avery was going to put it down and get in the right spot. And really, Quentin, I don't think really had any bad snaps this year. And if Avery didn't have his best hold, I knew it was still going to be good enough for me to put it through. So that was having Avery and Zach, especially as holders. They cared about what they did. They were with me every practice when I needed them to be there. And if they messed up on a hold, they would tell me and let me know, because that helped me understand, like, okay, maybe that kick, just to understand what happened with the kick and stuff like that. And that's why I think it's so important. I think it's bullshit what Alabama does with their kicker holders.
What do they do?
They have Mac Jones, Tua, Bryce Young. They're all the holders. I was like, that means Bryce Young is way too busy doing quarterback stuff at practice, meeting the quarterbacks, practicing the quarterbacks, throwing after practice, to get that much work with the kickers there. And that's why I think it's bullshit that Alabama gets so mad at their kickers when they're not put in the best situation to succeed. Wow. And
I don't think
it's very smart.
What's the thought process to have a quarterback as the holder?
Hands?
It's such an old thought. Like Tony Romo, when he dropped the hold and lost in that game, that I don't remember if that was in the playoffs or what, but Seattle.
Yeah.
The whole point is the idea of like to make them respect the fake, but like at this point, we have punters that are old baseball players that, and Avery used to be a quarterback in like middle school and like young in high school. It's like for a fake, it's not like you need a dime pass. The whole point of fake is to trick everybody and have a wide open player. Like you don't need some athletic Heisman candidate holding. Like that's just like obviously Saban is a genius and he knows what he's doing, but that's one thing I don't agree with.
Yeah. The fake jump pass versus Alabama was one of the coolest fake kicks I've ever seen. That was as executed as well as anybody.
I was so excited for that fake to happen.
Yeah.
Did you play basketball? That was a nice little floater.
That wasn't me. That was Avery.
Yeah, Avery.
Did he play? Did he play basketball? That was a nice little floater.
No, he is. I've seen him shoot a basketball before. It's not that impressive.
I mean, because he had a good form. 1-2 off the left foot. Nice little
dropped
floater,
it over his head. It was beautiful.
Teardrop.
Like he is actually more athletic than people realize.
I believe that.
He's actually really athletic, and he was a great safety. But I'm pretty sure basketball is one thing that he would not be great at.
Kansas State found it out real fast.
Cade York is the LSU record holder for 50-yard field goals in a career in a season, and he's the only player in school history to kick 2 50-yard field goals in a game. He did that versus A&M back in 2019. He ranks number 5 in LSU history in career field goals. It was awesome watching you play the last 3 years, man. It is going to be fun to watch you play at the next level. Thank you for the way that you have represented our state and the flagship university. We will talk to you soon. Best of luck, bro.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
Absolutely. There he is, Cade York, checking in this morning from Dallas as he gets prepared for the NFL draft.
He's great. He had to open up a little bit. Just tell him he can curse a little bit. Once that happened, he was good.
That's right. That's right.
Great.
That was
Great
good,
interview.
man.
Going after Saban. I don't agree with really what he does.
On the way out. I mean, he's a genius and everything, but he got that one wrong.
I don't know why you even do it
I love
that way.
That's the one thing they're not good at there.
It is.
It is?
It is. Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders, rmbbuilders.com. Hey, he's just hanging on.
He's just listening
Sorry,
to
buddy.
you talk
That's how we feel about you. That was all the truth.
rmb-builders.com. Rhett Bourgeois and his crew, whether you're looking to restore your home, build a brand new home, a custom design home, get in touch with our friends over at RMB, rmb-builders.com. rmb-builders.com is where you can find them online. Get in touch with Rhett and his crew. Very trusted, as we said. We've used them not only for our move from the UDL to the new DL, but our house flooded a couple of months ago, and they were very instrumental in helping us get back in, and all of the construction and all of the advice and everything that we were looking for. RMB was very helpful. rmb-builders.com, rmb-builders.com. is where you get in touch with them online and tell them you heard them right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate your interaction for this Monday, as that was a cool show, man. Josh Pate checking in from Indianapolis, giving us a little bit of the latest on Georgia and Alabama for tonight. We've got also Cade York for stopping by and telling us about his pre-draft process, and then Will Wade giving us the latest on LSU basketball as the Tigers right now 14-1 heading into Gainesville on Wednesday night. Good stuff.
Where do you think we're ranked?
They should be out now, right?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I think they come out on Tuesdays, right?
I would think top 15. I would think that they would be a top 15.
I
With
said
what
12.
they accomplished last week, I would say somewhere between 12 and 15.
Yeah, I mean, they lost on the road, but they beat 2 ranked teams at home. Like, I think,
2 out of 3 is stealing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That feels like an absolute win
I mean,
for an LSU
2 weeks
basketball
ago,
fan.
if I tell you that you're 2-1 right now in conference play, I think
happy.
you're thinking you're a top 15 team in the country,
And
right?
you have your
No matter the scenario,
Yeah.
whether it's Auburn or Tennessee, or you beat Kentucky, Tennessee, it doesn't matter. I mean, those 3 games were very stiff tests for LSU, and they come out of them 2-1. I think they're a top 15 team. All right, everybody perking up around here, huh?
Oh, you said
You're
stiff
stiff.
test.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I see you. I see you.
Every time, Lloyd's eyes just dart to me. Anytime,
I
like,
see you. I see you.
did you hear that?
Anything about feet and stiff, right?
I'm all about it.
Have a great day. We'll be back
Wait,
with you
wait.
tonight. We will be there for the national championship game, and we will be expecting some people to come through. Jack Besh has been confirmed. The stellar wideout for LSU as a freshman will be in the new DL, watching a quarter or two with us and giving his interaction. So make sure you tune in tonight for the watch party from the watch room over here at the new DL as we bring in Alabama and Georgia for the national championship. Black Monday is off and rolling. We mentioned Mike Zimmer was out. Matt Nagy was out in Chicago. Brian Flores out in Miami.
Really?
It looked like for a while there that he had saved his job. But coming down the stretch here.
Watching TV.
I know, I've been pointing it out.
Yeah, he won 8 out of his last 9. And it was.
They had a winning record.
Yeah.
Right?
Out of the playoffs, though, right?
Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs.
didn't make playoffs.
Right? Were they 8-9 or were they 9-8? I don't know. I'm putting you on the spot. I want to say 9-8.
Very successful through the second half of the
Can't
season.
believe the Raiders are a playoff team.
If Dennis Allen gets a job, Brian Flores would be another name to watch as the defensive
That is a
coordinator.
good call.
Yeah. No, he will not be unemployed very long.
Same thing with
Pete
Fangio.
Carroll and Joe
Yeah.
Judge. That's coming later today.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's
The Packer.
that'd be like the last.
All right, everybody have a good Monday. We'll be back with you tonight for the watch party.
Wait. Are you gambling tonight? What's the
Yes,
bet?
I'm
What's the
taking
bet?
Alabama. I'm taking Alabama, but I look around and I look.
I'm taking Bama.
Everybody's taking Bama?
I'm taking Bama.
Are we
I
taking
haven't
the cheese?
decided yet.
I'm taking plus. I may do a Bama +3, but then I may do something else.
I'm leaning
I like that
towards Georgia.
Billingsley. That
I gotta
Billingsley,
find
that
it.
Billingsley prop bet makes a lot of sense, right?
I don't know. I think I like the Slade. I don't know what the Slade. I know you don't like him, but I don't know what that prop bet is. But I think that one to me
20
Maybe.
touches over under.
Maybe. I mean, I saw what they did. I mean, because that in the semifinal game they took away Jamison Williams. Like that's what they're trying to do. And then Slade was the guy to get picked up. I don't know. We'll see.
Georgia wants it. I feel like.
I just don't know if
Georgia
That's
wants
Katie,
this.
good analyst.
No, I just mean like just
mean,
more than anything.
41
like,
years.
they wanted, but
right?
they wanted
It's
the
time
SEC
for
championship game too
I
because they knew that if they won, they're out. They don't have to.
I
Alabama's
know.
out.
They're so fucked.
You can want
Guess-
it.
So
we don't
fucked.
Guess who
know
could
that.
give a
We
damn that they won it?
Nick
Yeah.
Saban.
Nikki.
No.
You can want it as much as you want.
Right.
Don't. You gotta
I just
Good
feel-
luck, Kirby.
I just feel different about it tonight. I just feel.
Look, I'm with you. I want them to win.
Yeah.
I do. I want Georgia
This
to
is
win. I
mine.
just don't think they're going to.
Look,
Actually-
Nick, you see Nick's jacket? He's feeling
I don't know
himself a
if they're
little
won by
bit.
3, but I think they won.
Okay.
Feeling himself
Does
a
Nick
little
have a
bit.
little swag?
I think
He
he
does.
does.
BDS, dude. He's got that.
does.
Yeah.
I
BDE.
thought that was a weird look.
Who's Nick?
Weird look. Nick
Saban.
Saban.
Oh,
Oh, big sports show.
I didn't know we're on first name basis with them.
We
I
are.
didn't
Like
know
you're
we're-
starting mic'd up.
First
Doesn't know
name-
who Nick Saban is.
I didn't know we were on first name basis with little Nicky over
We
there.
totally
You know what
are.
I mean? He did have a nice jacket, little Maverick Goose.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
I didn't love that
He
look. I
did.
thought it was kind of dumb on him.
He's always dumb.
Trey Palmer has announced that he is going to the University of Nebraska.
Duh.
He is following Mickey Joseph up to Lincoln, so he is out in Baton Rouge and heading to Lincoln, Nebraska. Pack a coat, Trey.
Hey, there's a lot of opportunity up there for them.
Absolutely.
He's bringing if
Absolutely.
Mickey can bring in some of the talent that he has down here, like that's gonna be better talent.
That's how he gets a head job.
Exactly.
That's how he gets a head job.
Exactly.
They still have a
if-
Martinez
if,
at quarterback.
If Trey goes up there,
Transferred.
Alex Adams, the wide receiver out of
Saw that.
Mississippi, 2 years ago was in that signing class. Is out. Same class as Trey Palmer. Is out as well. He is hitting the transfer portal. But Trey Palmer has announced that he is going to the University of Nebraska. All right, those are your headlines, or excuse me, there's your show. We'll be with you tomorrow at 7 a.m., and then we will be back with you tonight. Tune in tonight for the watch party.
What time?
Alabama, Georgia, 7:30 is kickoff.
When you're gonna start? It's 8, right?
7:30 kickoff.
It's usually 8. It's usually
Is it 8?
I think kickoff
It's
is
usually
8.
8. It's usually
So we'll be in right around kickoff time.
Okay.
We don't
Just
know.
tune in.
Tim's like, no, none of us know.
When the
Whatever,
game's
just set
on,
your
flip over to
notifications.
the what's that? Nice. I
Oh, is
love
it
that.
I love that.
7
Oh.
7 in Central.
I love that.
Oh,
8 o'clock
okay.
Eastern.
Love
Okay,
that.
cool. 7 o'clock. And if you want to be subscribed, obviously subscribe. But if you want to know when we do stuff like this, it's going to be happening more and more. Just go ahead and click the bell, get the notification, so it'll tell you every time we go live. We're not pestering you here, people. It's just
we are.
it just sends you. It's not an email. You're not signing up for some chain. It's just a way that you get a little notification. If you don't like it, slide it up. No big deal.
Have a good day. We'll talk to you tonight.
With Jack Bash.
And Rohan.
Really?
Yeah.
Rose coming tonight?
Yeah, Rose coming too.
Hell yeah. 6 on 6.
Where's Robin?